And China suddenly scrapped its onerous zero COVID measures in December amid popular demand that they do so. The country was not ready for a massive onslaught of new cases.
The abrupt turn led to hospitals turning away ambulances, crematoriums burning bodies around the clock, and relatives hauling dead loved ones to warehouses for lack of space. State media had claimed opening up was based on scientific analysis and shrewd calculation, and was by no means impulsive. But in reality, the Associated Press has found the ruling Communist Party ignored repeated efforts by top medical experts to kickstart exit plans until it was too late. The reopening coming suddenly at the onset of winter, when the virus spreads most easily. I'm Charles de la Tesma.
Things are looking up on Wall Street. Dow futures at this hour up by 312 points. NASDAQ futures up 72. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The United Nations says more than 530 people have been killed in gang violence in Haiti since the start of the year.
The United Nations Human Rights Office says more than 200 people in Haiti were killed in the first 2 weeks of March alone. Its spokeswoman Marta Hurtado said many of the deaths appeared to be random attacks by snipers. She said violence around schools had also risen, leading to the closure of many and driving more pupils into the hands of the gangs. Haiti's security forces do not have the resources to deal with the crisis. The Haitian government has called for the international community to deploy foreign troops, but a history of failed interventions has left many Haitians and foreign governments reluctant to embrace this as a solution.
That is BBC's Warren Bull reporting. An American aid worker has been released by his captors in West Africa, and President Biden welcomed the news of the hostage release yesterday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy, at least not Monday.
No.
Happy Tuesday,
There
everybody.
it is. Like it.
Although, one is on spring break every day. It's Friday.
Every day is Saturday.
Yeah, every day is Saturday for you. So, happy day 2, I guess you could say, technically, sort of. Official day 2, you know, if you don't count the weekend. Because you're off.
You know
anyway.
what? Here's the thing. And enjoy your time off. You know, and I'm not trying to be spiteful or anything. Enjoy. You enjoy. Just remember, tomorrow about 3 p.m., it's really going to sink in that you're on the downhill side of these days off. And that comeback, that's going to suck. See, we've been exposed to it all throughout everybody else's off time. So we don't have to deal with the comeback. They got to deal with the comeback. It's going to suck.
Don't call it a comeback.
We've been here for years, rocking our peers and putting suckers in fear. Making the tears rain down like a monsoon.
Worry about that tomorrow. Today, it's Tuesday.
Soak in that Tuesday vibe. Leave the Wednesday feelings for Wednesday.
There you go. So, happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day.
Yes, indeed.
Gonna be warm and windy.
Yeah, warm and windy.
Warm and windy.
It's my mama.
It's a good morning show.
She was warm and she was windy.
Warm and windy in the mornings. But, yeah, so we got actually a full show for you today.
We do.
a plethora of stuff. We're actually going to replay this hour. Last Thursday, we had the district attorney's office join us. We had actually the DA for the 5th Judicial District, Diana Luce, join us. We also had her lead investigator, Justin Dominguez, and Dennis Kentai, one of the investigators, as well, help us. And we had a great conversation, so we're going to play that for you in just a few. But it's a long one, so we need to get it going on.
Yep.
We flapped our gums a long time on that one.
It's one of the few times you went over the news, even.
I think I did a little, just
a minute or two, but yeah.
Hint, so that means I got to get it going.
That's right.
In the 8 o'clock hour, man, I'm a windbag. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have at 8:15 Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. She pops in each month to give us an update what's happening out at ENMUR. And then in around 8:45, we'll have the Chaves County Extension Office join us. Tamara Schubert, Drew Garnett. I hear tell they got a new 4-H director, too, so maybe they'll bring them along as well. And we'll get an update from them. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're talking Golden Gloves. Yeah, this weekend, March the 24th through the 26th, the New Mexico Golden Gloves 75th State Championship is happening here in Roswell at the Roswell High Gym. And we would love to invite folks to come out, so we're going to talk a little boxing. We will be streaming the event. However, if you're in town and able to go check them out,
they're going to be at the Roswell High Gym.
They're going to be at the gym. So watch the boxing live ringside. But we'll talk all about that in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety, your Wall Street business updates, sports updates, and whatever else we need to come up with for today's show. So that's what we got going on. Before we do any of that, let's take a gander at that weather. Like I said, warm and windy. That's kind of a theme for this week.
Low pressure headed to our north, and that'll bring us some cloud cover off and on through the day and gusty wind, but no rain expected. Could get a few gusts around 40 miles an hour through the day, and our afternoon high will be in the mid-70s. For the overnight hours, some clouds lingering around and our low in the upper 40s and windy. Then pretty gusty again on Wednesday. We'll have sunshine hitting about the 80-degree mark on the afternoon high, wind gusting to 45. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 41 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57%. Say the winds are calm at the moment. That will change. Mostly sunny today. Expect highs near 75. Winds are coming with that, though. Southwest winds this morning, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Later today, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 50 degrees. South winds 15 to 20. Gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Those winds will drop down 10 to 15 miles per hour after midnight tonight. For your Wednesday, expect some patchy blowing dust for the afternoon. Partly cloudy, highs near 80, but the winds will be hanging out as well. Out of the south in the morning, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Later in the day, increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 49 degrees. Winds will be lingering out of the southwest, 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour, dropping down 10 to 20 after midnight tomorrow night. For you Thursday, sunny skies, breezy, high of 73, southwest winds 10 to 15 early, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour by Thursday afternoon. Friday, sunny and breezy with a high of 67. And then for your weekend, Saturday and breezy with a high of 71, sunny and windy with a high of 71. So it's spring officially now as of yesterday. So here come the winds officially, of course. All right, it is 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap, take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview on the other side with Diana Luce, the 5th Judicial District Attorney, Justin Dominguez, her lead investigator, and Dennis Kentai. That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,396 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to lower market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker steers sold steady, heifer mates 4 to 8 lower, feeder cattle $1 to $3 lower, packer cows and bulls $3 to $5 lower, 3 to 400 pound steers $247, $261, 3 to 400 pound heifers $214, $227, 4 to 500 pound steers $232, $247, 4 to 500 pound heifers $201, $214, 5 to 600 pound steers, 209, 232. 5 to 600 pound heifers, 178.5 to 201. 600-700 pound steers, 173, 209. 600-700 pound heifers, 165.50, 178.50. 700-800 pound steers, 170, 173. 700-800 pound heifers, 160, 165.50. Packer cows, 95 to 104. Canner and cutter cows, 75 to 85. Packer bulls, $1 to 113. Feeder bulls, 80 to 90. Cow calf pairs not well tested this week. Top half the bred cows, $1,450 to $1,750 per head. Now remember, this is the top of the market, and prices range down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We do appreciate the business. We'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
If you suffer from Pogonophobia, you would not want to attend a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
Or not, you do you. Good morning. It is 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning, we have District Attorney for the 5th Judicial District, Diana Luce here, lead prosecutor as well, Justin Dominguez, and Dennis Kentai as well. Good morning today.
I'm the chief investigator.
Chief investigator, my apologies.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I thought he said lead prosecutor. I apologize.
I didn't go to school long enough for that.
Well, long enough to know that you know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here, so. But my apologies. But good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Thanks for, I know your schedules are crazy busy and you cover a lot of areas, so to have you here for a little bit, we do appreciate that. I know your dance card gets a little full. So I guess first, let's, for folks that don't understand our process here, obviously we have our state courts, we have things, but everything's broken down into the districts, and we've talked a little bit about that, but talk a little bit about what, kind of what your responsibilities is as a DA for the 5th Judicial District here.
Sure. As district attorney for the 5th Judicial District, which encompasses Chavez, Eddy, and Lee counties, we prosecute all misdemeanors and felonies that don't go through municipal court.
Gotcha.
And so sometimes that's a lot. For those of you that come in and serve jury duty, you think it's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's our role. As the district attorney is a 4-year term.
Okay.
We're on what we call the presidential cycle.
Okay.
So we run when the president is on the ballot.
Gotcha.
And so I was appointed due to the retirement of Janetta Hicks.
Okay.
I was appointed in June of 2015.
Good deal.
And then I ran, because you know how it is, you get appointed.
Sure, and then you gotta get
run.
it on your own merits there. Yeah.
Right. And so then I ran another term after that. But each of our offices has, like Justin, we have an investigator in each office. It varies between 6 to 7 attorneys in each office. I have more slots, just don't have people.
Gotcha.
We have victim advocates in each office, support staff. We have IT. We have one IT person that works the whole district.
Okay.
And then we have our probably more famous court facility dogs.
Yes. We got to meet a few of them a couple times over the last couple months. Here.
Yes.
Yes.
And so Gina Yeager,
yes.
is our courthouse dog coordinator, and she takes care of the dogs. Everybody loves the dogs.
They are cool dogs and very, very chill, very just like they were hanging out, laying in here. And matter of fact, one was laying like under the desk here, and I kept accidentally bumping it with my feet. I was like, this dog's going to kill me, but I didn't care. Yeah, great dog. It was awesome here. So I have a question for you because as the investigator, because this is where my naivete comes in. I always kind of thought, that the attorneys, you guys would get the information that the police officers gather at a case, and then you go and then prosecute based off that. As an investigator, do you just basically take that police investigation to the next level and do deeper digging? I mean, so I'm just kind of curious on what sure, because I didn't realize that the DA's office was actually doing. I always kind of thought that was the law enforcement side,
sure,
and then the DA kind of does that.
So most investigators in the offices throughout the state are certified law enforcement officers. Our commission comes from the DA.
Okay, so
technically
my commission
comes from Diana.
Gotcha.
And my main function is to support the prosecutors in however we can help them to prosecute their case or whatever case they have coming up, some of the more major type crimes. And then also we act as a liaison between our office and the law enforcement entities around our districts.
Okay.
We can help them in whatever capacity they may need in investigations. A lot of times it's homicides or stuff like that. And if there's a homicide or an officer-involved shooting, we'll go out with the prosecutor or on our own to... So the prosecutor kind of has boots on the ground to observe the scene and kind of provide information back to where whenever we're looking at contacting witnesses or stuff, then we've already established a connection or that face-to-face with witnesses or potential witnesses moving forward in the case.
Gotcha.
Those are some of the main functions that we serve. We also get investigations down from the Attorney General's office that they'll ask us for certain things to look into and stuff like that. But first and foremost, our primary function is to support the DAs and the ADAs in their prosecution efforts for trial.
Yeah, because I'm unfortunately, y'all's job is chronicled on TV incorrectly all over the place.
Sure.
So...
Well, it's more exciting on TV.
It is a little bit. I mean, Raymond Burr can solve a case in an hour, and you guys, don't get that luxury. But anyway,
yes, sir.
We take longer.
But I always kind of, and that was kind of interesting to me to that side of the role, because I always just think it's like, all right, the prosecution, the district attorney's taken whatever evidence the police have gathered and go from there, and you're kind of that liaison in between. I'm guessing,
yes, sir.
If the police department can't. They take it up to this point, and at some point that their officers are on different cases and things, and they're like, okay, well, on this case, I need to do some interviews on this, and this. That's where you come in.
And also our district, the 5th, encompasses some smaller rural agencies where sometimes they're stretched thin with their personnel, and they may need, hey, we're short. Or we have one detective for our entire department. Can you help us conduct an interview, or can you help us serve a witness with a subpoena? If they're stretched thin. We are, like I said, we're certified law enforcement officers, so we are more than capable of being able to act in those capacities and help them out.
And to give Justin, Dinah, tell exactly what the 5th district covers land-wise. It's one of the it's not the largest, but it is one of the larger districts in the state of New Mexico as far as territory here.
Sure. It is really large because we go all the way, around the state between Chavez County, all the way down to Lee County, where we border with Texas. And then, we've got Carlsbad, Artesia, Loving. So it's a really wide area. And so speaking about rural districts, we have the large police forces like Roswell Police Department, right?
We're the big city here, by the way, guys.
Right. And then you've got the little small areas within Chavez County as well as the others. And so that's all part of our district. And so as district attorney, I actually live outside of Lovington in Lee County.
So you had a haul this morning.
So that's every week,
Make him
right?
buy you breakfast.
Yeah, Dennis could have got a Starbucks or something, right?
Wait a minute.
But we travel to all 3 counties. I actually have an office in each of the courthouses where the district attorneys are housed by the counties.
Needless to say, you do a lot of oil changes.
So we do a lot of fill-ups. We support the oil and gas industry.
There you go. Yes, absolutely.
So let me ask you, how did you get here? What made you? What's your story? What did you decide to say? This is why I want to be a district attorney. What was it that drove you to want to do this?
I went to law school because I was one of those people that you want to truly make a difference.
Sure.
You want to help in your community, and I went to law school, and I wanted to be a trial attorney.
Okay.
I can date myself by age. I'll just say it. I'm 57. I grew up
Big
watching
deal.
Perry Mason, and and
So she knew the Raymond Burr reference.
I did, and I was one of those people that got put your desk over because you talked in class, right? And so now I get paid to talk. Judges would probably prefer I talk. But really,
then they got no decision to make if you don't talk.
And I actually started as a prosecutor here in Chaves County under DA Tom Rutledge and Deputy District Attorney Janine Anderson.
Wow.
And so I started here.
Okay.
I ended up in Lee County. My family, husband, and children, we were here in Roswell, and we moved to Lee County with his job. And so that's where how I ended up over there. And I've been there.
Gotcha.
But I've been with the 5th District. I left for a little while. I did a little time in private practice. And then I did 4 years as the magistrate judge in Lovington. And then I came back to what I call the right side.
Gotcha.
In 2009, I came back to the district attorney's office. And so I've been here since 2009.
I always that's kind of the question I'm always, because you look at the world of attorneys and I'm not an expert, but it seems like if you're seeking financial security and all the living large like a lawyer, then you're probably going to be a defense attorney, because that's, you know what I mean? Because that's where the money is. But I'm guessing, like, is there does it take a certain breed, like you have attorneys that, and I'm not trying to say one's better than the other or anything like that, but for folks that work with the district attorney's office, yourself, your junior DAs, fresh out of the young law school, those junior ones, does it take is it a mindset that's different? Because, I mean, after you go through law school and and pass the bar and all that, you're like, dude, I got to get a paycheck. And so you're thinking, well, it's going to be a lot more lucrative if I get on with with some private practice or something like that. So I would imagine for someone like you to be involved on this side, the good side here, you kind of, as you were joking earlier, I mean, what is it? Just take a different breed of attorney to want to do that versus where, I mean, obviously not all attorneys are in it for money, but I'm thinking if you're going to go through that much schooling and that much stuff, you kind of want to get paid. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, is that a hurdle for keeping good prosecutors, but just not being tempted to take the payday,
It is hard for not only the 5th District, my office, but for all the district attorneys throughout the state of New Mexico. We can hire people right out of law school.
Sure.
They come work for us for a while. They get some great trial experience.
Sure.
They learn how to, apply the law to real life cases. And then they do oftentimes go to private practice, or whether it's defense work or personal injury or other types of civil law. Sometimes they switch sides. They'll go to another government agency, right? The Attorney General's office.
Sure.
But definitely I think that it's public service. I think that people that work for the district attorney's office from all levels, from our support staff to our victim advocates, our investigators, the attorneys, it's all that they care about their community.
It's about the mission.
Right. And they want to have a safe place to live too.
Sure. And I think but I got to imagine, aside from law enforcement and mental health and PTSD, I would imagine attorneys, district attorneys are almost on par with some of that. Yeah, you may not be physically in the room with the violence going on, but you're seeing the photos, you're hearing the stories, you're talking to the people. That, I don't care what anybody says, enough of that's going to mess with your head. I mean, is that something that you constantly deal with too in that office, where you're kind of, yes, you're the boss and the prosecutor, but sometimes you have to be a bit of a psychiatrist to some of our staff to just say, hey, I get it, this is some heinous stuff we're dealing with, but you're doing the right thing. I mean, is there a lot of that going on too sometimes?
There is.
Yeah.
as the National District Attorneys Association, I serve on their board for New Mexico for our association, and we actually started wellness CLEs and information webinars for prosecutors and other staff, because we take on the pain,
Sure.
right, and the sadness and sometimes the horror and tragedy of the cases, and it's hard to separate yourself from that. And so we encourage people. One thing you encourage people is you get annual leave from the state. Use it.
Sure.
Right? You have to take a break.
Use those resources that are available
You
to you.
can't do this nonstop because as much as you want to continue to do the right thing, you have to take care of yourself, and you have to have we always talk about work-life balance, but it may not really be a balance, but you have to have something outside of the job that is your stress relief.
Sure. I imagine the same case with you, Justin, in the investigative side. I mean, yeah, you a little bit boots on the ground, but the end of the day, and sometimes because you're the investigator, you're probably interviewing and questioning some of the victims and some of the people, and so you kind of have to turn into a bit of a psychiatrist too, and kind of because you want to get good information, so you've got to talk to them in a way that they're going to feel comfortable presenting that information to you.
Sure, yes, sir, and I would say so. There's we have 3 main offices, and for each county, Eddie, Chavez, and Lee, and we have myself and 2 other certified law enforcement officers in investigations that I supervise, and Hector and Stan are out of the Hobbs and Roswell offices. My main office is in Carlsbad, but I'm on the road quite often, just like Diana. And the same between the 3 of us. I can't even put Dennis in this equation because the number will go up exponentially. But just between Hector, Stan, we collectively have probably close 75 years of service between the 3 of us.
Children.
Before we came into, as far as the DA's office, I had a career with the Eddie County Sheriff's Office and with Lovington PD and Artesia PD before I came to the DA's office. So yeah, it's a lot of years of trying to separate the two, home life and work life. But the district attorney's office, and Diana's really good about offering services for staff to make sure that we have outlets and we have people that we can talk to, and there's committees and things that are formed that are put together for like peer support groups and stuff like that.
Sure.
They do a good job of making sure that the office has resources available.
Sure, and I know law enforcement's, because law enforcement, it kind of shares that military set. You're almost default trained to look out for each other's back, watch each other a little bit, and that's kind of the stuff you're talking about. Dennis, you can attest to some of that too.
No, I want to also talk about one of the harder things that the DA and the prosecutors have to do, and that is there are no perfect cases. All right,
your job would be a whole lot easier if it was, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, sir.
We could wrap it up in an hour like the TV. Yeah, it'd be great.
So what they've got to do is make the hard calls, and that, I think, really doesn't get understood, because they see the pain of the victims, they know what the victims have gone through, and yet the prosecutors have got to sit down and take the hard, clear look at a case and go, we'd really like to have this guy drawn and quartered in a public square, but it's not going to get there. And this is a decision on all these major cases. Go through this lady here. She's got to be, she's part of all of this. And I would argue that's one of the hardest, most unrecognized and unappreciated jobs she's got.
I can imagine. That's because, at the end of the day, and I would guess when you look at a case, whether you're going to decide to prosecute or not, I mean, yes, there's emotion involved in all of this, but from your perspective, it's pretty much the nuts and bolts, the black and white. You're looking at and say, is the evidence here to prosecute the case? And if that's the case, then we prosecute it. If not, then we don't. And I know we get some motions, people like, that's your person. I know, but if we don't have the evidence to put him in jail, we're wasting your time and our time. We've got to have that stuff there to do that. I imagine, is that the hardest part of your job? Really? I mean, is that moment of, man, we really want to prosecute, but the data just doesn't let me do it. I mean, is that really one of the tricky parts of your job, is juggling that balance of trying to, get a prosecution even when the evidence may not support that sometimes?
I think that's the part that makes the job the hardest. We want to do the right thing, but you can't always charge someone.
Sure.
You can't always convict someone that's been charged. And so sometimes you'll see where we've pled a case, and we sometimes get a lot of negative feedback from that. And it usually comes down to what was our evidence to prove a charge, what witnesses were still cooperating. We really struggled through, the court stayed open all during the COVID period of the pandemic. But we struggled with getting, witnesses and victims and people to stay on board.
That's the trick, right?
Because jury trials were in person, no matter what. They had to be in person. And as they backlogged because of the limitations of number of people in a courtroom, in the building, whatever rules they had in place, it made it really hard to move things. So now what we're seeing is there are a lot of trials that need to go. And there are only so many prosecutors and so many settings. And so it's a struggle. It's hard to have to tell a family of like a deceased victim, we can't charge someone. Or we have to charge involuntary.
Sure, something lesser or something. Yeah.
It's really hard, and that's where our victim advocates are really helpful. And I have to tell you,
those dogs come in.
That's where the dogs come in. Our court facility dogs support us too, right? They don't just support the public and go out and do things, or our victims or witnesses.
They give you the information you need to do your job.
They help us get through this job as well.
I'm kind of curious where time can probably be your enemy too in a lot of these cases, because let's face it, court cases, court's backlog, a murder trial is going to take a couple years sometimes. It just is, because that's the way things happen. That can be your enemy in terms of the closer you are to the incident, people's emotions, people that were willing to talk as time goes may not be as willing. Emotions soften. Somebody gets to somebody and convinces them otherwise. Is that a big issue for you guys too? Where it's like, this goes long, we gotta stay on top of our witness and make sure they don't, decide to have a change of heart here.
It's difficult to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
Time passes. We try through our staff, our victim advocates, our investigators. We ask whoever the case agent is from the agency to do that as well. But at times, if whoever's short-staffed, they're working on other things, sometimes no matter the contact we have, we can't keep people engaged.
Sure. And
delay is usually not a positive for prosecution of a case.
Gotcha. So the more you see that, your side's kind of going, oh boy. Defense is like, win for us. Oh boy. So I know this is kind of, but I'm just curious, like what's like a good day for you? Like when you have is it just winning cases? Is it when you come and you're like, man, this is a day I'm glad I'm a district attorney. What's the kind of stuff that makes you say that kind of thing?
Well, I think days when we feel like our victim got justice.
Gotcha.
That's a good day for me. That's what it's really all about. It's not about, we're not about whether it's we don't count wins, right?
Sure.
We don't count convictions. We do track trials for data, but that's personal. That's not even an office-wide thing. So we care about the outcome. We care if it's a plea. If our victim asks us to dismiss, they don't want to go forward anymore.
Sure. Creating closure.
It's hard for us to let go of a case when we feel like we could get something for a victim. But a good day is when we feel like we've gotten justice.
Gotcha. It's great that even though it's not because let's say we're talking about crime, something bad happens somewhere and something. It could be really bad, could be not so bad, but at the end of the day, that resolve of that is a kind of a sense of relief a little bit.
Another thing I would like you to touch on is the nickname for this office.
There is a nickname now.
There is a nickname.
Who bestowed this? The public or
this goes way back? It's the Fighting Fifth.
Okay.
And the reason is this 5th Judicial District Attorney's Office has historically been arguably the most aggressive in filing cases. I remember an article years ago in the Albuquerque Journal, the only district that had more felony trials was Albuquerque, the second, if I remember correctly. You want to touch on that?
That's pretty crazy, because if you look at just per capita, people in Bernalillo County and Albuquerque versus all of the 5th District, they still got us beat here by droves, and so But you're kind of, I imagine for you that's it. You're like, that's a good thing because these people are paying for the crimes that or we're trying to make them pay for the crimes that they're doing and things. So is that, how does that reputation look for the fighting? But like, is that something that other districts give you guys, or is that just, because I look at it as a badge of honor, but I imagine there's probably a few people that have negative connotations about that stuff.
This was a name that was given to the office when Tom Rutledge was district attorney. Okay. And they actually had a period preceded me working for the office. I actually started for the office in December of 1996.
Okay.
When I originally started. So they took a period of time where they didn't make any plea offers.
Okay.
And they just took cases to trial, or someone could simply enter what we call a straight up plea as charged. And so they actually had blazers, and they had like some kind of little crest. Nice. And, they were very united.
I kind of like that. I kind of do. It's kind of cool.
There's some people that like it within our district that work for us, and some of us that don't. But some people embrace that as that we fight for what is right.
Yeah,
we
that's
fight
what
for
I'm
justice.
thinking at it. You're a victim's advocate, and that's a good thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we don't currently hold the title for the most trials anymore. I believe the 12th district took that on when John Sugg, who is now a district judge out of the 12th, when he became DA, they took on that role of taking things to trial.
Gotcha.
And that's great. I think that you'll see that in our part of the state. The 9th district, which is Curry and Roosevelt, us, the 12th, which is Otero and Lincoln, we're all kind of in that same line of we're willing to take things to trial if that's what it takes to try to get justice.
Absolutely. I'm kind of curious because obviously as the DA, you probably know every single judge in the 5th district that serves, and you probably have I'm guessing like a baseball manager's dossier on each one of them on their tendencies and likes and this. I mean, does that come into play sometimes when you're looking at cases and it's like, well, I know certain judges are not in our district aren't gonna like this, or I mean, is that a tool that you can use when it comes to prosecuting things, saying, well, I know our judges in this district, I know what they tolerate and what don't tolerate. I mean, is that an advantage and come into play, or is that not, or am I completely off base and that's none of the factors in prosecuting a case?
It's really not a factor in prosecuting. It may be a factor if we're trying to negotiate a plea with a defense attorney about what parameters a judge will, see that maybe they feel like the DA's being soft on crime, right?
Gotcha.
And they are like, why are you recommending something low, or why are you offering someone probation? But like I say, once again, if we're doing a plea, a lot of times it's either evidence-based or it's victim or victim family based. It's usually not us, because most of my attorneys that come to work for us because they are trial attorneys at heart. And they're willing to go to trial. I mean, that's our job. It's just like the officer getting in their unit and going out to work, right? It's our job to do trials.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter to us if we're doing a trial that's good. That's,
sure.
But I think that's just part of the balance. I think judges just want to see cases move forward.
Absolutely.
They want to see timely resolution, because if someone is, let's say they're not guilty at trial, right? They want that person to move forward with their life and move on, and they just want the cases to proceed timely through their docket.
Gotcha. So whatever means to that end, obviously correctly, is what they were going to lean towards and things like that. So I'm curious, as an investigator, do you spend a lot of time testifying in court based on your interviews and stuff, or is it mostly just your notes and stuff are used by the DA to interview other?
I think it's more. I think it's more a combination of all things considered.
Okay.
It's whatever is going to help the case and help the prosecutor most effectively in trial is what we're going to do. If we do conduct an interview and in order for that piece of evidence to come in, our testimony is needed, then we will testify.
Gotcha.
If it's as simple as sitting at the counsel table and writing a note to the prosecutor, hey, we might ask this, or this is part of the evidence that we're looking at right now on direct examination, or if we hear something on cross that they may be able to hit now, then we can assist them that way.
Gotcha.
So it's just kind of we can sit with them along with the case agent at the counsel table during trial and kind of assist in that. And that's typically done only in the more, your homicides and stuff like that. Something that's what I would consider a higher type of crime against a person.
Gotcha.
In whatever way we can.
Because I didn't know if it, like, sometimes as an investigator, then your testimony is needed as an expert opinion on a certain thing or something like that. Just based off, maybe it's a crime scene. You were at the crime scene. You see it like. I was a cop for so many years. When I see blood splatter like that, it means X or something like that.
So typically, we would bring someone in from a lot of times
a different person to do that.
Police
Gotcha.
Has expert witnesses and blood pattern analysis and stuff like that. And
I didn't know just because since you were interviewing and stuff that he was the one who testifies.
Oh, most definitely. If we had information that was pertinent to the case or that would prove beneficial to the prosecutor, 100% we would be more than happy to get on and testify.
Gotcha.
It's part of the job. It's something we would do for sure.
And from the attorney perspective on that, when you have one of your assistant DAs and they're trying a case and things like that, when it comes to their witnesses and when they have to get, say, the expert are they the ones that kind of do that, or is that where the office gets involved in helping, or is it kind of like, hey, I need an expert on ballistics? All right, well, I mean, how does that kind of, is it on the DA to kind of find that person, or is there, within the office resources, hey, we have because I mean, you deal with a lot of, we have a ballistics guy, let's go ahead and reach out to them and see if they can take a look at it. I mean, is it like that, or is it more on the actual attorney prosecuting the case to kind of put those ducks in a row?
We do what's called vertical prosecution. Okay. So you usually have the case from the beginning all the way through. But as for who they use as experts, we share that information within our office of who we've used. Our state lab, DPS lab, provides a lot of our experts.
Gotcha. So it's just taking that, whatever comes back from them.
DNA, of course, the Office of the Medical Investigator or OMI doctors, they're out of Albuquerque.
Gotcha.
Same for the whole state. But we do use other experts that are either from New Mexico, sometimes or other states. And so we kind of in-house in the office, all keep kind of a list of people to contact.
Makes sense.
But we also reach out to other DA's offices or the National District Attorneys Association.
Sure.
They help keep a list of experts. But our cases are always, we try to have two people on major cases,
Gotcha.
two prosecutors. And certainly everybody's supervisors, of course, I'm like the top, right? So ultimately they can come to me, but they can always go to their mid-level supervisor and say, hey, I've got this issue.
Okay.
How do I find somebody?
Cool. I'm just curious about the inside baseball stuff. Sometimes it's kind of neat to me. I just like, I'm one of, I always joke, I don't watch wrestling, don't care about wrestling, but if you give me a documentary about the behind the scenes of wrestling, I'll watch every second of it.
Absolutely. That's a little scary.
I know. I'm a little odd dude, but
one of the other things that struck me is how difficult it's been for the DA's office and for everyone to work in the restrictions that come down from the Supreme Court. I can say that because I'm only a part-time employee. She has to say nice things about the Supreme Court. But if I think you're
making me nervous.
Yeah, I know. I do that to a lot of people.
There's a way to mute his mic. Right?
Yeah,
I can do that.
But we're scheduled for some changes. Do we know yet? You want to talk about that a little bit, or describe what you guys have been working under? And if you haven't been in the courtroom, you don't realize.
Okay.
Well, yeah, if you didn't have the pleasure of jury service during the pandemic.
No, I was pre-pandemic. I got popped like every 3 years for almost to a T. But yeah, I'm probably due. I'm probably jinxing myself. I'm going to get a notice here pretty quick.
You probably will. That's how it works. Jurors. Well, everybody had to wear a mask. We had to stay originally 6 feet apart. There were originally limitations on number of people in a courtroom based on its size.
Wow.
And so we had to do our jury selection in little small groups, and so it meant trying to ask the same questions repeatedly to each group.
So it was a big cluster, basically.
And it took a long time, right, to pick a jury, and a lot of jurors are just waiting, right, just sitting waiting. It was frustrating. But what's happened now in the progression is that there used to be questions you had to ask in advance. You had to be able to answer these questions correctly, or you couldn't come in to the court. Well, they took the questions away. We still wear masks. We're now only 3 feet apart. They're not doing all the cleaning anymore. They used to have to clean the podium every time somebody different went to stand at it, clean the witness stand. We have plexiglass up. The plexiglass is gone. But jurors are still wearing what I'm going to call the paper surgical mask.
Okay.
And then they have to wear a cloth mask over it.
Oh, wow.
But the judge and the attorneys only have to wear the surgical paper mask.
Okay.
While we look at the jury wearing 2. And, as a person,
Someone got paid to think this little process
well,
up?
as a person, not just as the district attorney, as a person, you think, how is that fair? We're all in there together.
Right.
We're all in there together. I know they want to
What happens when the jury deliberates? That room's not that big. I've been in that room.
Oh, okay. So they haven't been using the actual jury rooms in all the courthouses because it depends on the size. The size of the room dictates whether they can use it.
Okay.
So what they were using was the courtroom became the jury room. So everybody else had to leave, right? That's the jury room. And then you could only come in when you were given the okay by the bailiff that now, the prosecutor and the defense attorney, we can come back in the courtroom. But it's been a very, it's been a struggle to have jurors under that process. It's been a struggle with witnesses because you can't see their face. Sometimes you feel like you
can kind of, people are lying. You kind of, there's tells. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right. Or sometimes it's just easier to connect with a witness.
It's more personal than you talking to a masked person.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're always pulling the mask,
fidgeting,
and adjusting it, and it's always sliding down your nose. I think if we had if we got a quarter for every time somebody was told to pull their mask up over their nose, we could fund something.
Fund the DAs.
But it's been.
But how many decisions are tainted because people just want to get the heck out of there rather than actually do the job of prosecuting because they don't want to. Right. I know, but I mean that's a question you have to ask if you're making everyone jump through hoops to do all that.
That's been a challenge. That's been an issue raised. Obviously, defense has a right. Has an obligation to protect the rights of their clients. Sure. And so that's been an issue. They've made records on that. But ultimately, our New Mexico Supreme Court formed a committee, an emergency response team, and it had a kind of a variety of individuals and the justice partners, and they made the rules. And they make the recommendation, and then our Supreme Court adopted that or didn't, right? They could modify it. And they continue to make modifications going forward. Mm-hmm. And so it's gotten better. But we don't have any indication yet that the dropping of the mask is actually going to happen yet. Other states have already done that. I think we are possibly the last state that still requires
at all. Based on our
masks
state
in the courtroom.
Leadership, that does not surprise me.
There might be another one out there, but I don't think it's statewide if they're doing it. I think it may be because of an outbreak of something.
And the federal courts in New Mexico do not require the mask.
You're not here to help.
Even the feds figured it out, huh? That's saying something when the feds figured it out faster than you did.
And that's what's frustrating is we have to follow what the Supreme Court tells us. We abide by the rules. We follow them. We may not like them either.
Sure, but
we follow them.
Exactly.
And it's
we'll grumble in silence, or in quiet. But
so really, what we have to say is thank you to all the people that have served jury service.
You've
and
gone above and beyond this,
it.
especially this last several years here with the COVID. So.
Wearing 2 masks and sitting through however many hours or days of a jury trial that you've served our community. We can't say thank you enough because we couldn't do our job without jurors.
Yeah, jurors. I've done it a few times. It's actually not a bad. I mean, I don't know about all this mask wearing nonsense, but it's kind of an interesting opportunity if you ever get to do it. You get to see how the sausage is made, but I mean, it's really just to see you get an impact of what kind of stuff you see in a courtroom too, the types of cases, the types of people, the types of issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis in a court. As a juror, you get there's unless you're one of the other players in the court, there's really not any better perspective than that. So,
and I think one thing that sometimes the public doesn't know about our cases and how they flow through the system is that a person is interviewed by law enforcement, and they sometimes think, okay, I've given my statement, I'm probably good, right? And the answer to that is no. you may be interviewed again by law enforcement. If you're a child witness, we try to have them interviewed through what we call a safe house interview. And CASA has that set up here in Chaves County, and they do a fabulous job for us. But that's not the end either. There is a rule in New Mexico by a Supreme Court rule that requires witnesses to give what's called a pre-trial interview for defense counsel. And so they have to give that interview. So it doesn't matter if they've already given a recorded interview in some manner, they have to do it again.
Gotcha.
And if the defense attorney changes in the case, let's say they're off the case because of choice or they moved perhaps, whatever
happened.
happened.
All over it again?
They have to do it all over again. And then they still have to go to court and testify. And so even child witnesses can have to go to court and testify. There is a process for limited types of crimes where a child can testify by video deposition, but we have to
make it a little better for them. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have an evaluation by an expert, and a court has to make a finding. It's not like automatic, and it's a struggle. So sometimes people tell their story 3 or 4 times before they ever even get to jury trial. And that's hard to keep people engaged, right? Because they feel like, I have told this. How many times do I have to say it?
Especially if it's obviously a traumatizing scenario and they're dealing, with their own emotions on how to wrap their head around it. And it certainly doesn't make it easier when you got to explain the story 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 times to different people over and over again. However, I understand why that's the case, because if you're being accused of something, you're going to want everyone doing their, especially if you didn't do it, and you want to make sure that they do everything to kind of get there. So I get why it's that way. Is it frustrating, especially when you certain cases you just know we're dealing with some bad people here. I mean, you as prosecutors, as people, walk like a duck, talk like a duck. That's usually a pretty good intuition. Not always, but certainly is. And so when those cases happen, that's when you feel for these folks. It's like they shouldn't have to explain it 5 times. We get this should be open and shut. But if from the other perspective, if you're wrongfully accused of something, you're going to want to make sure everyone's done 27 times to see if something slipped up and changed, which might exonerate you. So I get the frustration, but I also understand the need for it. And so that's where we as a country have to understand. Our court system is not meant to be fast and expedient. It's supposed to get it right, and it's going to be glacial. And I'm not saying we get it right, but you have to have that opportunity. So therefore, this monotonous redoing of 10 and 12 is a necessary cost of doing business sometimes. And that's the part that you have to kind of convey to your victims, or that you're trying to advocate for. And it's like, I know this sucks, and it is so wrong of us to make you tell the story again, but to make sure that the people pay for what they did, this is what we have to do. And like you said, CASA, and I know like domestic violence, the SANE program that they've got these great programs that help you guys and help these victims do these kind of things. So. But it's a rough barrel of monkeys, man. People just don't. It's one of those things. It's a big bag of stink, but we got to take a bite anyway.
and it's very difficult to even scratch the surface in a limited amount of time on what all is encompassed with Diana's job and her job, and she's talked a little bit about the prosecution aspect of what she does, but she hasn't even got into the administrative functions that she serves within our office. And yeah, absolutely. There's so many other hats that she has to wear. And I can't imagine how she's able to balance it all, but she does do a fantastic job of balancing all those, different jobs within the office.
And you've been doing it for 7-8 years now, so those people must agree with him. So.
And I think it's important to reiterate, to the listeners, we're taught that every time we get a chance to educate the public on roles of our office, that one of the things that sometimes really gets misconstrued or screwed up in media is the fact that if a case is pled out by one of our prosecutors, it is not done without being in contact with the victims of that case.
Absolutely.
They have say-so in that 100%.
Spring up on people. Yeah.
It's not, when you read it in the newspaper that this case was pled to something, the victims or the victims and their families, or the victims' families, if there's a decedent, are heavily involved in that process.
Yeah, you're months to years behind the story.
this is what we want to do. There's
Exactly.
constant talks with the families and stuff on how that goes in. And I think it's important for the listeners to understand that
Absolutely.
it's just not the prosecutor deciding we're going to do this. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to
Absolutely.
something.
Just because you're hearing about it for the first time doesn't mean there's other parties involved have not been in. And
Yes.
so you're just a fly on the wall catching. You're not seeing the day in, day out what's going on with this case. So good deal. Well, we're running out of time, but thank you guys. Thank you both of you for spending. Dennis, as always, appreciate you lining us up and helping us out with this and chit chatting. This time he gets to sit back and take pot shots, but usually he has to work.
This is a lot easier.
Well, thank you for having us on. We
Anytime,
appreciate it.
and anytime, we'd love to have you back. And like I said, we'd maybe talk about some of the other side, and maybe even the fun part of your job. Because I imagine there is some fun stuff too that you get to do. And
Well, and we can always talk about legislative issues too.
yeah, well, I imagine after our 60 days here, when they're over here in a day or two, you've got a whole list of batch of things that you got to figure out and fix or try to mitigate or something. Thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It is 9:58. Let's take a quick break before we get kicked off the
zoo, but it's not the animals that'll be stampeding. The zoo will host a kids stampede on Saturday, April 8th, offering kids aged 12 and younger the chance to add a fun half-mile run through the zoo with some special segments along the way at many of the animal exhibits. The entry fee is just $10.50 per child, and kids will run in age groups. Registration can be done online at roswellconnect.com or at the zoo on the day of the event. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering a reward for information leading to the capture of a federal fugitive. 34-year-old Samantha Danae Shull is wanted for murder, armed robbery, and tampering with evidence. Shull, from Roswell, is accused of participating in the killing of Mario Delgado Jr. in February of 2021. Shull and a man named Jeffrey Contreras fled Roswell because they were wanted for another murder case. They're accused of killing Delgado in Albuquerque during an armed robbery. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cervello.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. All eyes are on the district attorney of Manhattan for the potential indictment of former President Trump. Here's White House correspondent Greg Cluxton.
Today is the day that Trump predicted that he would face criminal charges and be arrested. While a grand jury here in New York appears close to finishing its work on whether business records were falsified to cover up hush money payments, the next steps in the legal process remain unclear. Meanwhile, the city is preparing for possible demonstrations after the former president urged his supporters to protest. Metal barricades were dropped off to safeguard streets and sidewalks from any possible unrest. Greg Clugston, New York.
Attorneys for the former president have gone on the offense against the Georgia special grand jury and the prosecutors investigating him there. Here's correspondent Norman Hall.
Lawyers for the former president have asked a state court to throw out the special grand jury's report and all testimony from the inquiry. The lawyers have also asked that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis be barred from continuing to investigate or prosecute Trump. The panel is reviewing his efforts to undo the results of the 2020 election. A court filing argues the probe lacks clarity and that individuals being brought to testify have had their constitutional protections violated. A prosecutor for Willis says a response will be made in court. I'm Norman Hall.
Miami Beach officials have imposed a curfew during spring break. At an emergency meeting of the Miami Beach City Commission, the Vice Mayor Stephen Miners said it's all because of increasing violence among several groups on the streets during spring break.
We have been through this scene for several years in a row. How many times? It is never going to be okay for me to see a dead person on our street.
The curfew came after two fatal shootings and rowdy, chaotic crowds that police have had difficulty keeping under control. On Wall Street in early trading, the Dow up 316 points. More from townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Instituted the nation's first explicit ban on abortion pills.
Medication abortions, which usually involve taking 2 prescription drugs days apart to terminate a pregnancy, are effectively banned in more than a dozen states that prohibit all forms of abortion, and 15 states restrict access to the pills.
That's correspondent Donna Warder. Not as pricey now to fill up your gas tank. Correspondent Rita Foley has more.
Gas prices are pretty much holding steady. It's $3.44 a gallon, but remember a year ago? Gas was $4.25 a gallon, 81 cents more than it is today, says the AAA. As usual, the highest prices these days are in California. Gas is $4.85 a gallon there. The lowest prices are in the South and the Midwest, $2.98 in Oklahoma and Mississippi, according to the AAA. I'm Rita Foley.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is in Kiev now for talks with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Here's correspondent Charles de Ledesma.
Kishida began a surprise visit to Ukraine early Tuesday, hours after Chinese President Xi Jinping arrived in neighbouring Russia for a 3-day visit. The dueling summits come as the long-time rivals are on diplomatic offensives. Kishida's surprise trip to Ukraine comes just hours after he met with Indian President Narendra Modi in New Delhi. Kishida, who's chairing the Group of 7 summit in May, is the only G7 leader who hasn't visited Ukraine and was under pressure to do so at home. He's expected to offer continuing support for Ukraine when he meets with Zelensky. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A federal judge has blocked key provisions of a California law that drastically restricts the sale of handguns, saying parts of the legislation violate the Second Amendment. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. Hope your Tuesday's going swell.
Yeah, buddy.
Got a full hour for you.
Hey, hand me one of those real quick, would you?
I will.
Thanks, sir. These, we also need to get them signed, by the way.
Yeah.
If you go over to the Calico Cow Fabric gift shop, we found this out this weekend.
Okay.
They got a table set up with these cards.
Okay.
The Chaves County Federated Republican Women have dropped off these cards. Go over there to Calico Cow, It's 200 East College. Grab yourself one of these cards, sign it, hand it back to them. They're going to send it to troops overseas.
Yeah, what's the card?
It says, it's just a simple American flag painting on the front. And inside, it says, please know that the gift you've given me, my freedom, is the most cherished gift of all. I will never forget what you've done for me and for our country. Thank you. Sincerely. You can sign it there.
So do you sign them and then drop back off the Calico
Yeah, just hand
Cow?
it back to the folks at the Calico Cow, and
Cool.
Angel and their staff over there, they'll take care of them for you.
Sweet. Well, we'll get her done on our end.
Simple as that.
Y'all go get her done on your end.
Yes, sir.
So, hey, I was, I got an email a little bit ago on my Yahoo saying that someone wanted to connect with me on 23andMe, which is the DNA
The
thing.
DNA thing.
I did it a couple
Connect
years.
with you?
Like, I guess it's kind of, there's a social media element to it, maybe. I don't
Is
know.
there? I did not realize.
I don't
Okay.
really. I did it years ago. Swabbed and got the results.
Sure.
And, I'm English and Irish. It's kind of what I knew. And but I got a notification saying that. So, but anyway, I got the email. So I went and looked at my 23andMe, just kind of curious. And there's things I hadn't looked at, and I looked, and this made me laugh because apparently they were looking at my DNA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is like social media, but they have access to your DNA profile. That feels real sketch.
Well, it's your history, like where you been, where you're from.
But whose business is that? Mine.
Well, I
not
chose
yours.
to do it, so
That's what I'm saying.
I guess I did do that. So, but in the results,
right,
it says that less than 2% of my DNA can be traced to my Neanderthal ancestors.
Oh.
And my Neanderthal DNA that may influence your traits. And there's a few things they say that it may.
Your Neanderthal DNA, but that's less than 2%.
Yes.
Okay, so what
But
are
it says
your Neanderthal traits?
some of these things could be about me. Is the reason why is because of these Neanderthal
Neanderthalic traits.
Right off the top. You have one variant associated with having a worse sense of direction. I'm like, dude, I'm the epitome of the
That's
worst
amazing.
sense of direction.
You've got it coded in your DNA that you're bad with directions.
And that's absolutely
That
true.
is
Never ask me for
fantastic.
directions. Never, ever. That is the best sage advice I could give the public. Don't ask me for directions.
I'll give you directions, but I'm going to use landmarks. You're going to take a left up at the Walmart.
Yeah, I if y'all knew how many times I pointed in the wrong direction when I talk about stuff in this room, I'm like, yeah, we're going down to and I point north and I'm going south.
He always does this thing. I'm like slowly starting a party.
Yeah, I'm a hot mess there. Then this one, I think they didn't nail me. You have one variant associated with being less likely to have a fear of heights.
Less likely.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have a fear of heights, but
allegedly
yet you
I
do.
Well, and here I do have a weird fear of heights. Like I don't mind being in a building or something tall, secure. You put me on a 12-foot ladder, I'm freaking out.
See, I'm freaking out. I like that too, but. If you put me in a building like it's secure, I still get that. I get that vertigo. I was on a balcony at like the third floor of a hotel.
Yeah.
And I literally had to like get on my hands and knees and crawl back inside because the vertigo set
I'm
in.
not that bad.
Like
so.
all of a sudden, all the balconies were just going to fall off this building.
Yeah.
Or just mine.
See, I'm not that bad. I'm more of the, I'm on a pole 12 feet up in the air. I don't like this. You put
I also
me in
watch a lot of fail videos, so I've seen all these things go awry.
Like even
Doesn't make me
on a
excited to
bridge,
do that.
I don't like some bridges. Like there's one bridge that does make me a little squirrely going over in Baltimore. It's the Key Bridge, the high bridge. That one freaks me out every time. But I'm
one of
usually
those
pretty good
up north in New Mexico and near Taos.
Yeah,
it's like a
but
1,000
usually
foot
they
bridge.
don't. So I'm that's semi. This one you'll get a kick out of this one. You have one variant associated with being more likely to have a fear of public speaking.
Really? So according to your DNA, you shouldn't be afraid of heights, but you should fear speaking in public.
Correct.
Wow. They nailed it, man. You're an anomaly.
Now that being said, I could do this all day. You put me in front of a group of people, I hate it. I'm not scared of it, but I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not scared of it in any stretch of the imagination. I still, to this day, do not like getting on stage. And I know with my job, especially amongst all of us, I am the most likely to be an MC of a thing.
Correct.
I still don't like it. Just for those who are out there who are curious, I'm not a fan. I'm okay with it, but I'm not a huge fan.
Right. So that one was on there.
That's interesting.
This one they nailed. More so truth in my younger days. But now. You have 4 variants associated with being a better sprinter than distance runner. That is absolutely true. I'll kick your butt in 50 yards. But we run 200, I'm out.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what that is? That's somebody who doesn't breathe when they run. And I know that because I'm the same way.
By the way, I also eat copious amounts of food that tends to slow down the process a bit too.
I'm not in clothes that I should be running in. I've figured this out, that my clothes are not set up to run in. They're set up to walk slowly in.
Built for comfort, not for speed.
That's right.
You have 1 variant associated with being less likely to prefer salty foods over sweet.
But you do prefer salty over sweet. Generally speaking, you like more salty foods than sweet foods.
Because
you like chocolate.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it when it comes to sweet. But
I do like other sweets.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying when it comes to
like fruit.
Right. But when it comes to savory, there's a plethora of bagels, pretzels.
Yeah. I probably do lean savory.
I'm on the air, people.
Lean savory. So yeah, that might be accurate. But I love them both. That's just it. And in the end of the day, it's like I guess if you had to pick one, less likely, but I like them both. So either way, this one they botched. You have
this is your DNA, by the way.
Yes,
that's botching it. So
you have 1 variant associated with being more likely to have detached earlobes than attached. Mine are attached.
Yours are attached.
And that's a recessive trait.
I have mine are detached.
You're free. Yeah. You're free. Actually, that's the dominant trait.
Is it?
Free or attached earlobes like this are the recessive trait.
Oh.
I learned that back in elementary. Back in middle school. I think that's our guest. But back in middle school, that day when they're teaching dominant and recessive traits in school, and the way they did it was like, all right, does anybody got a cleft chin?
Right.
Anybody got and I'm that guy. Me. Like if I shave this, there is a cleft.
Do you have a cleft?
There is a dent. It's not as pronounced as others, but it is a dent.
You don't have a butthole chin though, do you? Like full blown.
No. It's just a slight indentation. But the attached earlobes, being left-handed,
sure.
All these things I was the poster boy for half the recessive traits.
My parents were convinced. My dad was convinced that he made me left-handed because when he taught us to write, he taught us across the desk, and he was right-handed. So he swore up and down that because he was right-handed, we came out left-handed. Me and my sister.
I disagree with that.
It's BS. It's complete BS because I've watched both my kids and they just pick their hands.
Yeah,
Brandon's left-handed.
just what's natural.
My son is naturally right-handed.
Yeah.
It's just they gravitate towards it.
Yeah, it is. So, and then there was one more which they bought. They didn't get. I've never. No, there's 2 here. You have 4 variants associated with having more dandruff. I've never had dandruff. I've had a lot of our problems. Dandruff's never been one of them.
Dandruff and quicksand. I was made to believe that both of those things are going to be a major problem when I was an adult. Neither one of those things really ever come up.
Actually, I have the opposite. I have oily hair. I'm usually got the other problem.
Same.
Not the dandruff dry problem.
Yeah.
And then finally, this one, you have 1 variant associated with eating leafy greens less frequently.
You should probably get a salad up in you there, buddy.
I will eat leafy greens if they're attached to meat.
Yeah. Have you ever had bacon wrapped lettuce? It's delicious.
Like I'll eat a salad as long as it's loaded down with chicken or ham.
Seriously, one of the best things in the world, dude. I mean this is those unwitches from Jimmy John's.
Oh, okay.
The lettuce wraps.
I always get bread.
Phenomenal.
Really?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
So good.
Maybe I'll try one.
Yeah, real good. Or just go all out and just get yourself a double down.
Maybe. Oh, the chicken with
They're
the
back
chicken?
now. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
I forget. What they put bacon and cheese in between the chicken?
It's 2 pieces of fried, 2 fried chicken breasts with bacon, cheese, and mayonnaise in between. Okay? So the commercial that we're running for KFC of Artesia, it makes me laugh every time I hear it because the girl from KFC of Artesia comes on and she describes the sandwich exactly like that. 2 hand-breaded chicken breasts, deep fried, with bacon, cheese, and your choice of mayo or spicy mayo.
Sounds good.
And then she goes, talk about gains. I'm like, yeah, weight gains. What are you talking? Okay, so you got rid of the bread. It's all protein, sure, but it's also deep fried protein.
Yeah, it's more keto friendly, I guess.
Talk about gains, she said. I'm like, yeah, gains of
Is there lettuce between the cheese and the bacon?
No, there's lettuce. Not put anything green on your chicken abomination. What are you talking about?
That's the double down part.
You're doubling down on your health is what you're doing.
Coronary.
You're making a decision on, I don't necessarily need to see my 70s.
Well, it could be worse. Could be 2 chicken fried steaks with.
That's almost as. I mean, I feel like that's as bad. It's
I feel chicken's slightly leaner than beef.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's breast.
Neither one's exactly what I'd call health food, but of the two, I would give the slight edge to chicken. Maybe Long John Silver's could have a fried fish version.
I am curious to try it, and you can pair that up with the I think it's now available ranch dressing ice cream.
Yes, that sounds completely revolting.
Yeah.
I think Donna's here, so let's get her rolling. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
Low pressure headed to our north, and that'll bring us some cloud cover off and on through the day and gusty wind, but no rain expected. Could get a few gusts around 40 miles an hour through the day, and our afternoon high will be in the mid-70s. For the overnight hours, some clouds lingering around and our low in the upper 40s and windy. Then pretty gusty again on Wednesday. We'll have sunshine hitting about the 80-degree mark on the afternoon high, wind gusting to 45. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 56%. Winds are calm at the moment. Mostly sunny today. Expect highs mid-70s, 75 officially, with winds windy today out of the southwest, 5 to 15 this morning. Later in the day, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 50. Winds breezy out of the south, 20 to 25. Gusting as high as 35 miles per hour, dropping down 15 to 20 miles per hour after midnight tonight. Wednesday, patchy blowing dust for tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy. Highs near 80. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 20 in the morning. Later, increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. Wednesday night, expect more patchy blowing dust before 7 p.m., partly cloudy, and an overnight low of 49 degrees. Winds will remain up out of the southwest, 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour, dropping down 10 to 20 after midnight. For Thursday, sunny and 73, southwest winds 10 to 15 in the morning, 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 for the afternoon. Sunny and breezy for your Friday, highs near 67, and then for the weekend, sunny and breezy on Saturday with a high of 71, sunny and windy on Sunday, also a high of 71. All right, it is 20 minutes after 8. We're going to take about a 3.5-minute commercial break, and then Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
As
As proud sponsors of the 2023 Golden Gloves event, let Candlewood Suites of Roswell knock you out with spacious rooms, quiet location, and great pricing. Recover in comfort at our Candlewood Suites, 4 Military Heights Drive, Roswell, 575-623-4300, 575-623-4300.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
A comedian once said, "No one can tell me anything, not even myself." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, most people stop listening and start forming an answer or response when someone's talking to them within 7 seconds, so they miss most of the information.
John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me."
You know, when Julie and I were preparing for this, she looked right at me after I spoke for a while and said, "What?" I guess we all have work to do in listening. But you know what? Just like learning to know God takes time and focus and to know His voice, it's going to take time and focus to really get to know our spouse and to really start enjoying and loving marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
If you're tired of sleep problems like insomnia, snoring, or restless leg syndrome, the Sleep Center at Artesia General Hospital is committed to helping you reclaim a good night's rest. Our Artesia location offers convenience, comfort, and a team of staff with more than 25 years of experience in diagnosing and treating adults and teens. It's time to put your sleep disorders to bed. Request an appointment online at artesiageneral.com/sleep.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, Donna Aracion back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot to say.
It's a lot.
That's why you say E-N-M-U-R a lot,
I know.
guess.
That's why I say. Just don't say N-mer. I know people say that.
That doesn't flow
no,
right
that
either.
does not flow right.
But
no.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Fine, thank you.
I imagine things are busy at the campus, full into the spring semester now.
It's just flying by. We had midterms
probably around
last
midterms.
week.
Yeah, right around midterms here.
Yeah,
And
so now we're in spring break.
Spring break
actually,
this week. Very
so
good.
It's very relatively quiet on campus.
So this is probably a good time if people want to enroll in the campus for summer or fall semester.
It is.
This is a good
actually.
time to maybe visit.
Right, because our staff is there. We're not closed, so we're fully open, regular hours. It's only our staff and faculty that observe spring break. Some of our staff do as well, but if they have kids or things like that, they also.
But all your
take them out.
admin and folks that
but
are.
all the main, all the offices are open. Everything's open and available for students that want to register, meet with an advisor, that sort of thing.
So it's a good time to take a tour, do all the things because it's a little quiet on the campus
It
this
is
week.
quiet. So we're, of course, getting ready for summer and fall registration. That will start the first Sunday of April.
Yep.
So but right now we're still in spring, so we're always mixing up the seasons.
But now's the time to enroll. If you're a new student and have not enrolled, apply and everything.
Yes.
Now's the time to go visit this week and everything else.
Yes.
And then here, when actual enrollment opens for summer and spring semesters, all you got to do is get online and start picking classes.
Exactly.
Doing your thing.
Exactly.
But do the legwork now to get
your application in
admissions
if you haven't
talk
done
to
that
financial aid and get because this is kind of that time of year for getting your FAFSA forms and all that stuff in too, right?
It is. That's also a good thing to do is get your financial aid sorted out.
Yeah. So this is kind of that week to get that kind of stuff done. If you're
around, if you're not out vacationing in some great place,
someplace with a beach or toes in the sand somewhere.
Right. We have sand; it just blows around.
Right. No water attached to it.
And no water attached to it. That's the sad part.
but definitely it's a good week to come do that stuff too and all that. But I know there's a lot of events coming up too that outside of the actual day-to-day curriculum at the college.
So I'll mention a few of those. We mentioned one last time. Our Senior Day for high school seniors is coming up April 6th, Thursday, April 6th, 9:30 to 12:30, and that's a time where we invite all the high school seniors in the area to come out, tour the campus, take part in some activities, see what courses we offer, what programs we offer, see some of our equipment in action, that sort of thing. We have a lot of prize drawings, free lunch, that sort of thing. So it really doesn't hurt anything. Even if you're thinking about going to another college, you might just make sure you have all your options available and open, and just educate yourself about what you have right here in your own backyard.
Yeah, take a look. I mean, even if you've already, plan on attending College X, come see what because you might find out you can still go to College X, but you might go ahead and get your curriculum done for the stuff everybody needs, the associate stuff.
Right.
And save you a few coins when you're ready to go to College X. Now you've got something that instead of you paying, I don't know, $100,000 for a class, you paid a third of that or something like that.
And then, of course, if you want to take class online with us, you can, or if you want to take maybe a few summer classes before you start the fall semester at a different university.
Absolutely.
So taking some summer classes, get a
jump on things,
math class or an English class out of the way where you're assured of more individualized attention, tutoring, especially if it's a subject that you have more difficulty with. It might be good to do that during the summer, and then you're ready for the fall.
And of course,
wherever you go.
New Mexico universities got smart a few years ago, and if you attend any New Mexico university, if you transfer to another New Mexico university, it seamlessly transfers.
Yes, we have a general Common Core that's an accepted curriculum.
So if your goals were,
colleges.
hey, I want to get a degree at UNM down the road, well, go ahead and get your associates, everything here, and then it just transfers right over.
That's right.
Seamlessly, and probably a third of the price you would have paid if you did it all up there.
So again, it's just a good idea to make sure you know what you're giving up or what you're missing out here in Roswell.
And not to mention, too, if you're transitioning from that high school to college, this might give you a smoother transition, especially if your plans to go to some major university. Your class size might be 300-400 people. And to talk to your professor, it's not just walking down and say, hey, I got a question. You got to make an appointment, go through a gauntlet to get just the time to be heard.
Right.
None of that goes on at A&M. Your class size is probably about the size of your current high school class or smaller. And if you got a question, you raise your hand.
And the instructor will most likely know your name and know who you are, know a little bit of your background, that
exactly.
sort of thing.
So it's much. So if
a different
if you need
environment.
maybe that transition to go from, we're in high school where you do get reminders and you get people that are kind of nudging along to a college environment where that's less of a thing.
Right.
A&M could be that transition where you kind of have the best of both worlds there, where you got the independence, but if you need that motivation or need that someone kind of looking out for you, A&M provides.
It is. It is such a great supportive environment that we offer at our campus. So again, that Senior Day, it's Thursday, April 6th, 9:30 to 12:30. You can register with your high school counselor. So just if you don't know about it, go to your high school counselor's office.
They should know.
They should know about it. Say, hey, I want to go to A&M Senior Day, and bus transportation is invited.
And
that's provided
every
as well.
Chaves County school is got that going on.
Yes.
So Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur, all those folks get on board too. And sign up and just visit. Go, even if you're not sure, especially if you're not sure, definitely go. But even if you got your plans made up, please come
and
anyway.
I know a lot of students just say, hey, it's a great way for me to get out of class for half the day, and that's fine. We'll
that's
take
what gets you in the
if
door.
That's what gets you over, and then you're pleasantly surprised. You'll go, wow, I thought it was going to be a waste of my time, but it really wasn't.
I was thinking I was just going to get maybe a laptop out of this or something free.
There is a laptop computer that will be given away.
Oh, yeah, there's a swag. There is a carrot dangling.
We do have some other motivation as well.
But if you're a high school senior, sign up for this and come out April 6th.
Right, April 6th.
Very good.
And then we're also having we're calling it Coffee, Colleges, and Careers, but we're doing two things. April 26th, we're doing a transfer fair. And again, that's something that we offer to students that are on our campus currently enrolled, but we invite other colleges and universities, the four-year schools, to come out and have representatives set up tables and provide information. So we know a lot of our students get their associate degree or maybe just one year with us, but they do plan to transfer, and that's great. So we help them with that. We invite, Texas Tech, UNM, New Mexico State, all of the larger universities to come out and set up tables so they can provide information, help you with any questions or transfer information that they offer.
I'm guessing, too, like those colleges are a little bit more, like, I'm trying to say this without sounding stupid, but because you already are currently enrolled in a college and you're going towards that program, I imagine the application process is probably a little different than a new first-time student because you've already established a track record as a student, and so they can see exactly where you know what I'm saying? Where it is when a lot of times when you fill out college, they're trying to figure out if you're committed to completing a degree program, and that's kind of what they're trying to.
Well, a lot of them have entrance requirements, things like that.
Sure.
So they do see that you are a serious student.
Sure.
They can look
I think,
at your
like I say, it gives you a slight advantage in there because you've already proven some of the things they're looking for.
Right.
And that's
it is. So it's a great opportunity to just get information about a lot of different colleges in the area, in New Mexico, in the region. So it's all open, free to students, 9 to 12 on April 26th.
Okay, so come out and check it out.
And that will be in our Instructional Technology Center on campus. And then the next day, the same place, in the ITC, from 9 to noon, we're doing a career expo.
Okay.
And that is inviting students to meet with various employers in the area to just see what opportunities are available.
So if you're employed in the area and you're looking for employees, it might behoove you to come visit and introduce yourself.
Yes. So that's also in the ITC the next day, April 27th.
Okay.
So again, we're just really trying to provide a lot of information and options for our students for their futures. So we know that they came to us with a plan in mind to have a career or different lifestyle or whatever they want to do. We want to provide ways for them to reach those goals. And so that's what we're doing. And so that's April 27th.
Okay. And you'll be in again as a last minute reminder before these events here.
We'll have Tani Buxton. She's our Career Center Director that can come in and talk about that.
Okay, she'll join us that day as well and next time.
We'll see if she can come in and talk about that.
Nice.
So that's a great opportunity that we haven't done in a while, because of COVID and everything. We were kind of closed off for a while, so now we're really making up for lost time. We're just inviting everybody.
We're just going to throw it all in the mix here.
come and see us this June or this spring. The other thing we're doing a Scrubs Camp again, our third annual Scrubs Camp, and that's going to be June 8th in the Health Science Center.
Okay.
From 8 to 4, and that is open to 10th grade students through 12th grade graduates. So. Again, it's a one-day interactive experience, so they can learn about all the different health careers that we offer on our campus, and there's a lot. Emergency medical services, nursing assisting, occupational therapy, medical assisting, respiratory therapy, and phlebotomy.
Yep.
So it's $10 per participant. It's just a one-day deal. You get lunch and breakfast. Get a T-shirt as well.
They do a great job in years past with the Scrubs Camp.
We have great partners that come in, some of the ambulance service and things like that. They really help us set up some scenarios and really walk students through a mock crash scene.
It's almost like they see the whole progression from accident to the hospital kind of thing, and all. So they see all the different entities involved in making that happen.
Right,
and
so it's really
the cool
exciting
part.
for the students. We get them involved as much as possible. Last year we had a helicopter on site, that sort of thing for air transport. So, again, it's a really good way to decide, is this kind of the career field that I want to go into? And do I want to be a nurse, or would I rather be a medical assistant? Or do I like the adrenaline of being a paramedic or EMS?
Or do I like the slower pace of being a phlebotomist in a doctor's office?
It's important too, but if you learn how to draw blood, that's.
But generally, I mean, those jobs are probably in a slower paced. People come when they're scheduled to come, kind of thing.
Right. And so EMS is kind of like you're on call and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's really a great day to come out and learn about those career fields. And so that's June 8th from 8 to 4. We do have an application that you need to fill out, and that's on our website at roswell.enmu.edu. make sure we have your parents' permission and all that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
But again, for $10 for a full day of activities and information and education.
That could actually change your life.
It could change your life.
Absolutely.
You could really solidify, I really want to be in the healthcare field and helping people.
Or you see it and say, you know what? I better brush up on engineering.
Do something else.
Lawyers.
I'd rather just do something else.
Yep.
So, again, we're really excited to have that again, and our health department is really excited to put
they do a
that
great
on.
job. You'll love it.
They do. They get so excited, and they really love having the kids come out and see everything.
Plus, they get to
that
show off
do.
the toys.
They show off everything
They got
that we do.
so many
and
cool gadgets that are part of the
we've got
health
all our,
side
we've
of
got our
things.
new sim mannequins this time, so I'm sure they'll be involved in some of the
you
simulations.
get to see the technology involved too, which is just as cool as what they're actually doing.
It is, so that's great.
Good deal. What else we got?
The other thing, so then the next week we have Kids College. We're doing some classes for Kids College again, and that's June 12th through the 16th.
Okay.
So we have 3 courses we're doing this time. We're doing Fashion Designer, Talented Expressions, that's for ages 8 to 12. We're doing Learning STEM Fields with Hot Wheels.
Okay.
And that's for ages 4 to 8.
Cool.
And then we're doing Survival Tactics, and that's for ages 7 to 12.
Nice.
So they're all during that week. The cost is only $35 for the whole class. And so you will learn a lot of different skills.
Yeah.
Something that is fun, but also educational. And that's really what we try and do is introduce students to coming out, the younger kids coming out to the college and just kind of using their creativity and problem solving and
I know, like you mentioned, the 3 different fashion and STEM and then the survival. You live in the state of New Mexico. We're a rural state. We've got a lot of rural areas.
Yes, we do.
That stuff, hopefully they never need it, but every New Mexican, every person should go through some of that. Just in case. You never know when you're stranded on the side of the road or you get in an accident, you're stuck in a remote area and you might have to spend some time there before help gets to you. It's useful to have a few skills under your belt just in case you get put in one of those scenarios.
Exactly. So the description for that course is during survival situations, the 4 basic needs become shelter, water, fire, and food.
Mm-hmm.
And by introducing basic techniques, your child will learn how to purify water, signal for help, leave no trace when they're camping, from some first aid, and they'll do some survival games to keep the training fun, not just serious.
It's a lot of fun
kind of
doing this
essential for essential skills for kids that like to be outside and play outside.
It's actually a lot of fun if you're not in an actual scenario where you're stuck somewhere.
It's sort of like you're, just.
But it's sure handy
role-playing.
to know that if you ever get put in one. So do a service to your children, send them to that.
Yeah, I think it's a great, and that's again for ages 7 to 12.
Absolutely.
So that's a good one. And then the Hot Wheels is for ages 4 to 8, and that's using. For the Hot Wheels car lover, they'll discover the world of math and physical science.
Nice.
So, and then the fashion designer, of course, they get to learn about sketching and color and pattern coordination, costume design. They'll see their designs come to life.
Which could take you a lot of different directions.
So that's a lot of things for people using sequins and glitzy jewels and feathers and all sorts of fun things.
Absolutely. Be the next trend. You might make the next pants that everybody and their uncle's got to have.
So if that's your thing. And then, so again, that's for ages 8 to 12. And so we have this application online. Again, it's $35 for the week. And it's most of the classes look like they're about 2 hours for the day. So
it's not all day
too
thing.
long. It's not all day. But again, it's just something to do. Send your child to do something. Send them to college, get them used to a college environment, learn some things. They're not just sitting in front of a device playing a video
and who knows,
game
at this age, these are young enough kids where this is where they're looking and finding their passions. Maybe this is where they find it. Maybe they're like, I want to be an engineer, and that Hot Wheels class got me there. Or I wanted to be my own clothing designer, or I wanted to open my own clothing shop, and that class got me interested in that. Or
you just never know what's
I
want to
be a park ranger, and guess what? I went to that survival class, and that started me on the path to being a park ranger.
Exactly. So it just opens their eyes and their minds to different things, and gives them more hands-on experience and interaction with other kids that maybe they've never met before. That just something different out of the regular school day, and especially when they get out for the summer, you want to keep your kids occupied in meaningful
engaging things. The more life skills and things you can, especially when you cosmetic it into fun activities, that's the best
They don't
because
even
that's where
realize
they get.
they don't even realize they're learning.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's Kids College.
Okay.
And then in July, it's a little further down, but we did just open the application for this as well. It's the Art Fest Summer Camp that our art instructor, Bailey Call, does. It's from July 17th through the 21st. It's a visual art camp where students will make a variety of projects using clay, paint, color pencils. All supplies are included, plus snacks. Registration starts, it opened already.
Okay.
There is a limited amount of students that can be accepted for this.
So sign early.
So sign up early. We do have the link to the application on our Facebook page right now.
Okay.
And we'll post it on our website as well. And that's for kindergarten through 5th grade. That's from 9 to 12. And then the 6th through 12th grade is from 2 to 5 p.m.
Perfect.
For that week. So that's the 17th through the 21st of July. So it's a little further ahead. But again, since class size is limited, people can register now and sign up.
Yeah. So do that, or sooner the better. That way you don't have to worry about, did I get in or
that's
not?
just another fun thing that we've got for. So we're really trying to make sure the campus is open and available for our younger kids out there that will be our future students.
Absolutely. Yeah. So come on. And then, of course, the pool and all that stuff hopefully will be back
The pool
open.
will be opening again this summer. We're having to do some work on it at the moment, so we're working on that.
That'll be nice to have, too.
Yeah, so that'll be another summer activity.
Again, making it feel more like a normal school year at
just
ENMU.
a regular old school year.
Yeah.
No virus. or
Nothing to
anything.
see here. Nothing
to see
exciting.
here.
Just
Nothing
the
to worry
same
about.
old.
No masks. So then, of course, we also have our foundation golf tournament.
Coming up here in a few short weeks.
Short weeks. So it's April 8th, the Saturday before Easter.
Is there still golfing
golf
spots
course.
open, or are they closed?
We are actually very full at the moment.
But
so
sponsors, we could probably squeeze a sponsor in if we need to.
We could squeeze in some more whole sponsors
because that's
right
more
now.
money for scholarships. So,
yes, we've got
we'll make that happen.
Or if you're a business that would like to donate a prize for the golfers, we do a drawing for prizes.
Yeah, so if you got things you'd like to donate for that.
If you have a gift basket or a gift certificate or something.
Something, a trip or
a trip to the Caribbean
hunting
or
out way
something.
or a ski trip or something,
Sure,
whatever.
We'll take it. So that's our 20th annual tournament. So we've been doing this for 20 years. So
Excellent.
It's really amazing that time has flown.
And this is one of the big fundraisers for the foundation each year to provide scholarship money that they hand out quite frequently.
Right, and we just did close to $50,000 in scholarships for the spring semester.
That's awesome.
So we take the money, we invest it, we make sure it grows, and then we make sure it goes into the hands of the students that really need it.
Thank all you folks that are going to come out that weekend and whack the golf ball
all
around.
our
And have
sponsors.
some fun.
We've got some great sponsors so far, and we've got some great prizes already. So we're doing 2 closest to the pin prizes, and then we give every golfer a ticket for a prize, and we draw for all of those. So generally,
so don't lose that ticket.
Most of the golfers will go away with some kind of prize.
If not, you'll have a full belly and
we have breakfast and lunch provided. Lots of fun.
Depending how well you did in golf, the stories to tell.
Yeah, exactly. The Red Coats will be out there to do a little ribbon cutting since it is our 20th annual. And then we'll have some of our ACES students, our student ambassadors, as well.
Cool.
There.
So you get to see exactly what your golfing's doing in our community.
That actually are on campus and work with us. So,
but it is April 8th at the New Mexico Military Institute golf
and
course.
Again, we do have all of our team slots filled since it is just a morning tournament right now. You can get on a waiting list, but
if you do want to sponsor, reach out to Craig and
reach out to Craig. And again, that's on our website as well. But it's 624-7304 if you want to talk with Craig.
Yeah, excellent.
So,
and then if you missed out, sign up early next year. That way you can guarantee you get a slot.
So we'll set the date for next year in 2024.
There you go.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody supporting us so far, and we're really looking forward to a great day.
Good deal.
On April 8th.
Excellent. Of course, everything we talked about here, find it at the website, roswell.enmu.edu.
Right.
Don't forget also ENMU Roswell has a Facebook page as well. They have several,
We do.
actually.
We have there's a lot other clubs and groups on campus also have Facebook page, and also Instagram as well.
Yeah,
We're
so like and follow those, and you can kind of, especially if you're a student, that's the best way to stay up to date.
It is, and we
what's going on.
post really interesting stuff every day. We try not to over post, but we want to make sure the posts we have are always meaningful, educational, or enlightening in some way.
Absolutely, or providing an opportunity.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Well, Donna, as always, appreciate the visit.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate
and,
you.
We'll see you next time here. Okay. And again, a lot. Some of these the events in June, July we're talking about. We'll remind you again next month.
Yes, we'll have some of our other staff come out and give you more information about these events. But yeah,
go to the website now. Start enrolling. Start signing up for some of these summer camps and things.
Yes.
All of that. Go right now and do.
Yes, we've got a lot going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Donna.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully your day is quiet this week.
And yours as well.
Nice and
Enjoy your
quiet.
spring break.
Strolls into the cafeteria, no line, just eats lunch, and it's going to be a good day.
Yes. Exactly. Thank you.
All right, it is 8:46. We're going to pause for news, and then we'll have the folks from the Chavez County Extension Office join us on the other side. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. There's going to be a stampede at the Spring River Zoo, but it's not the animals that'll be stampeding. The zoo will host a kids' stampede on Saturday, April 8th, offering kids aged 12 and younger the chance at a fun half-mile run through the zoo with some special segments along the way at many of the animal exhibits. The entry fee is just $10.50 per child, and kids will run in age groups. Registration can be done online at roswellconnect.com or at the zoo on the day of the event. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering a reward for information leading to the capture of a federal fugitive. 34-year-old Samantha Danae Scholl is wanted for murder, armed robbery, and tampering with evidence. Scholl, from Roswell, is accused of participating in the killing of Mario Delgado Jr. in February of 2021. Scholl and a man named Jeffrey Contreras fled Roswell because they were wanted for another murder case. They're accused of killing Delgado in Albuquerque during an armed robbery. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 47 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Extension Office, Tamara Schubert and Drew Garnett back with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I was kind of wondering, I heard y'all found a 4-H person. Did I?
No, we have not.
I thought I heard that.
Are you applying?
I don't know if I'm qualified. I can apply, but you may not want me. I'd be like, that guy's not a good influence on kids. What's that bubble there? But good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So that was I don't know. I thought I saw somewhere that you guys had found a 4-H person, but I guess
no.
Apply online if you're interested.
Apply. It is open until the middle of April, so come see us.
Good deal.
Yes.
So excellent.
And look, on the listing it says it requires a master's, but if you have a bachelor's and you're wanting to earn your master's, apply for it because you can actually get your master's through New Mexico State University while
you're
working. While getting a paycheck. And get the
and imagine they
master's
get some kind of financial assistance on that too to pay for schooling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's paid for.
It's paid for.
Even better.
So
it's
free masters while you get paid to work, and so
you get to
there's
work
a
with
lot
us,
of benefits.
So you know.
Hey, you want to retire, sweetie? She already has a master's.
Hey. All right.
But awesome. So good. So folks, go online. I think it's through Workforce Connections. You can see the application. Definitely see it through the
NMSU.
New Mexico State and through their job postings and all that good stuff.
Yes, and if you can't find it, shoot me an email or give a call to the office, and we will send it to you
directly.
Oh yeah.
Well, it might even deliver it personally. Show up in his truck. Say, here you go.
Maybe. Not getting desperate at all.
That being said, I know you guys have a ton of stuff going on. It's great. It's great that you guys, because when I have the library folks in, we always talk about y'all, because y'all, I think two. You have the 4-H one, and then your extension gardening side of things. So those have been kind of cemented in now as staples at the library each and every month. So.
Awesome. We've been having fun.
They have been. They've been a lot of fun.
Good deal.
And this last one was just this last Saturday, and actually the Master Gardeners led it as well on composting. So if you missed it, we'll probably have some more. But this next one at the library...
There's always plenty of compost.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of compost around. And a lot of things you can use. So if you're looking for information on that or gardening...
Sure.
Gardening at the library is a great source to stop.
I think it's like all your organic waste is pretty much good for composting, isn't it? So all your banana peels and
you think about all the
lines,
food scraps that you have that come off things that we don't eat.
Yeah.
And actually, Tamara and I last year did a little series on things that you can take from those grocery scraps and put them in your garden and grow more of those plants. So,
nice.
There's a lot of things you can do with your scraps. Composting is just one of the beautiful ones.
You ever done this move? I have a friend that has. They'll just take whatever pepper seeds from whatever peppers, could be green chili, could be jalapeno, and they just throw it all in one thing. And one time he got this plant, and I, to this day, have no idea what kind of pepper that was. I know it was a pepper. No idea what kind it was.
No, that is one thing that you can do, especially with some of the dried red chilies. You can harvest some of those seeds and grow them out if you wanted to.
You can. It's next thing you know, you're a scientist and you're making your own little weird concoctions going on. So definitely. So what events we want to make sure we put on people's radar here over the next couple of weeks?
You've got a big one.
Yeah, I got a big one. So a week from today, March the 28th on Tuesday, we have the Southeast Ranchers Workshop. It's going to be in Artesia this year, as it was a joint collaboration. Last year we hosted it here in Roswell, but it was a joint collaboration between Chaves County, Eddy County, Lee County, and Roosevelt County.
So Artesia's smack dab in the middle, kind of.
So Eddy County won the draw this year to host it, but luckily for us, it's in Artesia, and that's pretty close by.
30 minutes.
It is, and we've got what we feel like is a really good lineup of presenters bringing information to the producers in the area, the ranchers. So we're going to have Dr. Craig Gifford come in and talk about remote monitoring. So these are, again, going back to those shot collars we've talked about a couple times on here for cattle, but it's monitoring where your cattle are and creating virtual fencing. So it's creating...
so it's using technology that you may not normally see in farming and ranching, now incorporated into farming and ranching.
Yeah, so areas where it's not feasible to put in a physical fence or, to not have to pay the cost for a physical fence. I think it's around here, I was hearing about $12,000 a mile for barbed wire fence right now.
Yeah, I know it's not cheap.
No, and then some of the places in the Burns I've heard as high as $60,000 a mile. So this technology is becoming a little more affordable when you see the price of a physical fence going up. And so he's going to be talking about a lot of the research that's gone on that they've been conducting with these. And then we actually have a producer who's been utilizing these on a working ranch. And he's going to talk about his experience using them, which to me is the most important part of that whole discussion.
That's the proof in the pudding is right there.
Because, it's really... we can study it to death, but, if you're not actually utilizing it in a working situation. And so I think that's going to be a very valuable
You get the true upsides, but you get the true downsides, too. Because if he's like, look, it's convenient overall, there's a few things that I had an issue with that this isn't it, you get to hear that. And that's
exactly.
And now you get to weigh that for yourself to decide if that's something I want to do or no, that's not working for me.
Yes, and even if it's something that you're not planning on implementing right now or you don't even have on your radar right now, it may be something down the road that you implement as the technology progresses, and really that price has continued to go down. I was talking with one of the gentlemen who's been studying it, 5-6 years ago when he first started studying these, you were looking at just ridiculous $1,700 a collar. And I think right now it's down under $300 a collar, and that's just over a 6-year period. So the technology is getting more advanced, and it's getting more affordable.
Hey, for those older
in the
folks,
long term,
older folks like, all right, if you all remember the first VCRs and what they cost, remember what they were costing towards the end there? They were like $1,000, and I think you get one for like $50 towards the end there. That's what's kind of you're starting to see because more supply demand, more people demand it, more supply. That means the price comes down. That's just how it works,
And so it is some really cool technology coming out. We also have the Beef Council coming out and giving an update there. And then we're going to have another company who does remote sensing for your water systems, water troughs, your pumps, and everything like that, so that you're not having to drive around your multi-sectioned ranch and check tanks all the time. And it's a really cool program.
Probably
really
saves an hour out of or more out of people's days right there doing it.
More than that. Yeah. That could be a whole day sometimes for ranchers going and checking every single trough on their ranch.
The traveling to and from points of the
And then you think about the cost of diesel or gasoline to get around that ranch. You save a lot of time and you can save a lot of money with these remote monitoring systems. And so we're just trying to bring that technology and let people see that for themselves and kind of hear about it, and then they make the decision for their ranch, obviously. And then we're also going to be offering one CEU for a pesticide applicator's license at this event. It's going to be presented by Greg Alpers. And he's going to be talking about range and brush weed control. And then we're going to have Dr. Wenzel come in, and he's going to be giving a presentation on updates to antimicrobial, because there's a lot of regulation that's come through, and there's a lot of changes in what a producer can and can't do, and what they do and don't have access to anymore. And so he's going to be giving an update on that, and that will count as one BQA, Beef Quality Assurance CEU. So if you are BQA certified, there's a great opportunity for
people
a
that
CEU.
know what he's talking about. Those that you don't, you don't worry about it.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, give a call to the office. We'll talk about it some more.
Explain it to you. But I ain't gonna lie, when I hear things like Beef Council, I'm like, that's a cool title. I want to be on the Beef Council. Well, but remind the dates and everything for that
So
again.
that is March the 28th.
Okay,
and
so
that's
next
going to
week.
be, yes, and it'll be all day. We'll start checking in about 8:30.
Okay.
And then the presentations will start about 9 o'clock.
Do they have
We'll
to
go
pre-register?
Yes,
and they do that-
pre-register would be the best way to do it.
And
That
do it
way we
for
have a
you,
good
or-
head count for how many meals that we need for it. And you can either go to our website, there's a link to click on, or you can check out our Facebook page, or just give me a call and I'll email you the link.
Very good. Yeah. Well, either way, someone will get that information out to you. Very good. What else we got?
So we're approaching the end of our open enrollment for 4-H.
Okay.
So they have until the end of the month. So if they've got kiddos between the ages of 5 and 18, and y'all know 4-H, we do a lot of different things, and this is getting to
Absolutely.
be our busy season. So if they've got any kiddos that are interested, now's the time to get enrolled.
Absolutely. And don't forget, yes, 4-H is all about livestock and fairs and all the things you see, but there is so much more to 4-H than that. If you're into computers, if you're into shooting sports, if you're into a whole slew of 10 other things, that's really part of 4-H too. You can actually be a part of 4-H and never technically own or raise or show an animal
Correct.
Yeah, you definitely
at
can.
all, and have nothing to do with any of it.
Yeah.
So please.
So within
reach out.
within New Mexico, we have about 250 projects. So if they're interested in honeybees, we have those. If they're interested in embroidery, cross stitch, crochet, braiding, leathercraft, rocketry.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. There's probably, and you know what? If there isn't, maybe you can start one. That's the beauty of 4-H. It's like, hey, I've got a group of people that are interested in this subject. All right, let's start a 4-H group about it. And now we got a new one.
And I mean, so many areas you may even be thinking, I don't want to be braiding, I don't want to be weaving or whatever it is. Well, if you want to make a duck call lanyard, if you want to make a rifle sling, there's a lot
Guitar
of opportunities.
strap.
Things
Guitar
begat
strap.
this,
There's a lot of things that come out of these other projects that you can do. And really, it's a lot of great life lessons that are not taught hardly anywhere else anymore. Cooking,
especially nowadays.
just public speaking, that building that confidence and that leadership in those regards.
If you have
those are so valuable.
You have
today.
kids that aspirations to be mayors or city councilors or Congress people or whatever. They might learn parliamentary, the very bare bones of how to do that through 4-H, and they teach all that.
We have close to 80 youth in club officer leadership roles right now.
Yeah.
And so, it is a great place to learn those skills.
So leadership is another one of those things they learn.
Oh, big time.
So
and
please.
That's what people that are hiring today want. They want leaders.
So really, probably best bet, just come by the extension officer, call and say,
Sure.
hey, I have a student that would love to be in 4-H, and you'll take the ball and run with it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Good deal. And like you said, based on the interests and all that, go. If you go to the extension website or anything, you can kind of read up on some of the different clubs and the different organizations and things like that, and see if some of those spark your interest, and then reach out.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Please do.
When's your all's next for this month? Have you all done your library trips, or is it?
We did. We just had it last week.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but we'll be back in April for new 4-H and new master gardening classes.
So gardening at the library is the third Saturday of the month. And this month of April is going to be on raised planter beds.
Okay.
And so if you're interested in raised planter beds and what to do, we're going to be breaking down how you can get started.
Nice.
And so it's going to be a great talk. We've actually had a lot of interest in it recently. So
good.
That's going to be April is raised planter beds. And
All right.
third Saturday of the month at 10 o'clock at the library.
Let's slowly turn that thumb from brown to green.
Yeah,
Well, it's that time. It's that time of the year to start.
It is.
Absolutely. So reach out. Give out the phone number to the extension office if anybody has any questions about anything we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. Call us at the office, 622-3210.
Very good. Call, shoot a message, leave a voicemail. Come on by. They're on Chisholm. What's the actual address number on Chisholm?
200 East.
200 East Chisholm.
Suite number 4. We're the building on the furthest south side.
Yeah. So come on in if you have questions, or if you got pecans to show Drew or any of that kind of stuff?
Bring in those pecans.
Yeah, I do.
We got all that stuff. So. Don't show him your pecans. He wants to see your pecans.
Yes, yeah. There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you all later. We appreciate it. All right, it's 9:01. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Kentucky and Brian Style of Wisconsin are demanding testimony and documents from Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg related to his investigation and potential indictment of former President Trump in connection to an alleged hush money payment made to porn star Stormy Daniels. In the letter, the congressman wrote that indicting former President Trump would be, quote, an unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority. Edwin Mora, Capitol Hill.
In Miami Beach, the city commission has voted against another curfew for this coming week. City Commissioner Ricky Arriola says he's concerned about the financial losses.
The fast food restaurants, the retail shops, not even talking bars and nightclubs. You're talking about thousands of employees that won't get a paycheck. That has unintended consequences.
The first curfew came in response to 2 fatal shootings. More from townhall.com.
This Easter season, join world-renowned tenor Andrea Bocelli for an unforgettable journey of hope, beauty, and music. Experience musical performances from Michael W. Smith, Tori Kelly, Taya, and Torrin Wells across the awe-inspiring Italian countryside. The Journey, a music special from Andrea Bocelli, brings you face-to-face with the moments in life that define us, the music that moves us, and the relationships that matter most. The Journey, a music special from Andrea Bocelli, in theaters April 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 6th. Find out more at thejourney.movie. That's thejourney.movie.
How did the state of Israel get started and how has it survived? It truly is a miracle. This is Seth Talbot along with my father Pete announcing Against All Odds Israel Survives is now streaming for free on salemnow.com.
Actually, this docudrama is a series of ongoing miracles that the mainstream media has completely ignored. A special presentation of Against All Odds Israel Survives is streaming for free right now, highlighting the miraculous role God has played, only on salemnow.com.
A number of states are now considering tougher penalties for possession of fentanyl.
This move comes as U.S. overdose fatalities are at an all-time high. Fentanyl is the powerful opioid linked to most of the deaths. Proponents say prosecutors and police need more tools to help with the fight because fentanyl and other synthetic opioids are so deadly. They represent a shift in places where lawmakers had been reducing drug penalties as part of criminal justice reform efforts. But other advocates worry harsher penalties will result in even more dangerous drug supplies and punish people who really need help. John Scott reported.
Heaps of garbage are piling up every day, and some places standing as high as a human being in Paris. Garbage collectors there are protesting against plans to increase the retirement age from 62 to 64. And in the neighborhoods there, garbage looms everywhere. In some cases, it's choked off traffic on narrow streets. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. General Motors Cruise Autonomous Vehicle Unit has asked California for permission to test the cars across the entire state.
The GM subsidiary is already running an autonomous ride-hailing service in its hometown of San Francisco after testing for more than 2 years. It doesn't have specific plans yet to expand testing in California, but applying with the Department of Motor Vehicles is a step toward entering larger cities such as Los Angeles.
That is correspondent Jeremy House reporting. Senator Elizabeth Warren is calling for a broad investigation into regulatory failures that led to the recent bank collapses. Senator Warren calling on the inspectors general of the FDIC, Treasury Department, and the Federal Reserve to investigate the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Optimistic about greater oversight, investors are now investing in Wall Street with more enthusiasm. The Dow right now up by 207 points. More details at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. day. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tracing Viernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 at Roswell's Talk FM. Buenos Tuesday. Hope it's going well for you.
Yeah.
At least it's sunny.
It is.
It is going to get windy, but
It's
it's
on the
sunny.
chilly side right now. It'll warm up. Don't worry.
It'll be nice and warm. Or, if not, just stay inside.
Yeah.
You just
hide out indoors.
But it's spring in New Mexico. It's officially now, as of yesterday.
Yeah, as of yesterday.
As of yesterday. Although yesterday had at least spring of, because it's kind of still a little chilly. At least it was for me. I know it was warmer out, but I was chilled all day. Like, I could not get warm at all yesterday. I don't know why.
That might be me so far today because I'm the same way. It's like I know it's warming up, but I've been chilly.
Yeah, yesterday I was like it all day. Today I'm fine. Don't feel the need. Like yesterday I wanted to wear my coat all day. Today I'm like, I'm good.
Well, because now I'm wondering if maybe like something that sloughed off because the same things you were describing yesterday afternoon. That's the nausea.
Yeah.
Kind of getting that a little myself, and the chilliness. So,
I wonder if it's a little
maybe just like a mild version of what was going around a couple weeks ago.
Kim, yeah, she's doing the same thing. Well, her and I both yesterday were like that.
Yeah.
Very weird. I've been okay today.
Well, yeah, because you gave it to me.
Well, I haven't tested the theory on food or anything yet today, so that'll be the first.
The good news is I'm away from my kids this week, so I'm mostly in isolation.
So you're free to.
That's the plus.
Yeah. I don't know, but anyway, I today I don't feel chilled. So. Not that we cares.
I'm sitting here regretting the fact that I didn't bring a coat. That kind of situation.
Lack of a coat was a bad choice.
Twas indeed.
I got to ask since you did that because now it's in my head real quick. Oh, no. So I went to the grease. Yeah.
I'll turn around.
Yeah, I'll turn around.
All right. Hey.
Wants to keep me off.
So. Amazon Prime is advertising a show.
Okay.
Based off of Grease, the movie.
Called The Pink Ladies.
And it's following the Pink Ladies at Rydell High.
Okay.
And it looks very Grease-like
very
in
musical.
It's very greasy, got it.
The singing, the whole Grease
So
spiel.
they're not trying to do like what they did to like
I don't think it's a
Archie.
woke version of League of Their Own like they did the other one.
Well, have you seen any of what they did for like Archie and all that?
No, I didn't watch any of that.
I can't remember what it's called offhand. But like all those they basically took Riverdale. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
They took the Archie comics, the silly, funny Archie comics, Jughead and all them, and made it this like saucy teen drama.
I missed that.
Full of all sorts of like. So is it that? Or are they doing like the right like the?
To me, the commercial for it looked just like the movie. The Ramadama Ding Dongs and singing and all that.
With the camp.
I think it looks that way. It looks like the movie, except for it's younger actors instead of John Travolta and all them. And it's a TV series, but it centers around the Pink Ladies. And so, but the T-Birds, the whole it looks like Grease to me. Just the commercial.
Is it?
I thought when the commercial came on, I was like, Kim, look at this. You'll be into this. She's like, no, thank you.
Really?
Absolutely
she said she wanted nothing to do with it.
Why though? What
it won't compare to the Grease movie.
Now let me say this.
I'm sorry. Anything it would be subpar.
Everybody I've talked to about a possible reboot of the show Scrubs has said it's a bad idea. And I agree with that because I'm such a fan of what they did and it ended so perfectly. Never mind that ninth year. That ninth year didn't exist.
Yeah.
It ended so perfectly that I don't want to see what they would do to like tarnish the reputation or the legacy. So I understand where she's coming from in that regard.
Yeah.
But aren't you a little curious?
That's what I'm saying. You got to be at least and if this is your favorite movie of all time, Grease, and they basically do a spin-off of that, you at least want to see what it's about before you say it's awful.
I was such a Grease fan. I still love Grease. It was been my all-time movie.
What if it's done just like that?
Good morning, boys and girls. No, I mean, I've always been a Grease fan with the original Grease movie. Olivia John was my idol. And of course, she passed away this year. That was so sad.
So you could care less about the story, the Broadway musical,
I love the story.
or anything.
I have seen the Broadway musical.
Now, in fairness, that is
poo all over that because it was
that's
the movie?
a direct adaptation of the original, so that wouldn't necessarily tarnish the legacy of what she. I think what she's saying is this is the intellectual property of the people who made Grease.
Yeah,
it's sort of like it feels cash grabby.
It could be, but I would think you at least watch one episode before you determine that.
Sure.
As you know, I'm just saying, I'm going to equate it. Her Grease loved-em is probably the same as my Metallica loved-em.
Wow, really?
So that being,
I'm a pretty big
on
Grease
that kind of level.
So that being
fan.
said, if Metallica put out a movie, and they put out some, and they're stink fests, I will still watch them.
Sure.
Because I'm a fan.
But, okay, if let's say, for example, Metallica decided they were going to today release a reissued version of the Black Album that was all the same songs, the same exact lineup, recorded today.
Yeah.
No, it can't be Metallica doing it. It's got to be different people.
Oh yeah, I guess it would have to be
different actors.
It would have to be.
I would at least check it out.
I mean,
now,
we don't have John Travolta. We don't have Olivia Newton-John. We don't have.
In fairness, they did sort of just do that. Chris Stapleton and a bunch of other artists recorded Metallica songs. They just put it out. It was kind of a banger.
But I checked it out.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was real good. That's what I'm saying.
I've checked them out.
So
That's my point.
It does kind
I'm
of
not saying you have to like the
shoot
show.
our argument in the foot, Kim. I'm
not
trying here.
I'm not saying you're going to have to like the show. I'm just saying give it a chance. Give the thing a chance. You may
I'm
like
not interested. I'm sorry.
At least watch one episode. Then if you don't like it, then crap all over it. But
I've seen
until
Grease
you at least
2,
seen. Well, Grease 2 is an abomination of a lot of things.
Well, I'm going to think this is going to be 2.
Well, it may not though. Maybe they figured it out. Maybe they did. I'm trying to defend a piece of garbage.
On to me because I don't want to see
it baffles me. It baffles me that something that's your favorite movie of all time, and now they've done something in the genre, and you don't even want to look at it. I mean, just at least look at it.
I'm not interested.
I mean, I am curious. I'm not as into Grease as you are, obviously, but I am curious to check it out. I think maybe because it means so much to you, it's harder for you to accept a new
don't go
version.
hipster on it. You're going hipster on it, and don't do that. Hipsters are weird people.
Although they're trying to analyze me.
All right, we got Ray in the other room, and he could care less about Grease, I'm pretty sure. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit. Warm and windy. That's what's going on. Then later on here in just a bit, we're going to have Ray Baca join us. He's the event coordinator this weekend. The New Mexico Golden Gloves 75th State Championships are happening this weekend, March 24th through the 26th at Roswell High here in town.
Yep.
Slightly different belt. But it meets our need. And so it's going to be youth, adult, all of it. It's all going on. So
adults versus youths. It's going to be crazy.
That's the case.
Crazy.
Let's save that for your wrestlers.
That's right.
But,
folks, come on out. We're going to be beating children this weekend. It's going to be a blast. We want to invite all of you out here.
That's why they've not asked Sean to be the ring announcer.
That's right. The views expressed by Sean Smalls do not reflect those of Pecos Valley Broadcasting and staff or management.
They're like, no, thank you. They're like, hey, we need a ring announcer. Sean's like, I'll do it. And they're like, no, thank you.
We need somebody competent.
But Ray Baca is going to join us here, and we'll talk all about the big Golden Gloves of weekend that's coming up here at Roswell High. Later on this hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show.
Indeed.
Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and take a gander at your weather.
Low pressure headed to our north, and that'll bring us some cloud cover off and on through the day and gusty wind, but no rain expected. Could get a few gusts around 40 miles an hour through the day, and our afternoon high will be in the mid-70s. For the overnight hours, some clouds lingering around and our low in the upper 40s and windy. Then pretty gusty again on Wednesday. We'll have sunshine hitting about the 80-degree mark on the afternoon high, wind gusting to 45. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 52 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Mostly sunny, high of 75 today. That's the good news. The bad news is the wind's coming with it out of the southwest, 10 to 20 this morning, increasing this afternoon 20 to 30 miles per hour. Could see wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 50. Winds will be breezy out of the south, 20 to 25 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Those winds will drop down 15 to 20 after midnight tonight. For you Wednesday, patchy blowing dust for the afternoon or tomorrow after 1 p.m. Partly cloudy and a high near 80 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 20, increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour by tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, patchy blowing dust before 7 p.m., partly cloudy after that with an overnight low of 49. Winds will be out of the southwest, 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour, then dropping down 10 to 20 after midnight. Thursday, sunny, high of 73, southwest winds for the afternoon, 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and breezy with a high of 67. And then for the weekend, sunny and breezy, 71 on Saturday. Sunny and windy, 71 for a high on Sunday. All right, it is 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take about a 3-minute break. And then Ray Braca will join us on the other side talking about the New Mexico Golden Gloves State Championship weekend happening here in Roswell. Don't go away.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with the new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices, so come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Get more bang for your buck this tax refund season with LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammo is fully stocked once again, and that means no waiting to get what you need. Guns, ammo, gear, targets, optics and knives, safes, and so much more. From brands you know and love like Ruger, Rossi, Mossberg, Smith & Wesson, and more. Stretch your tax dollar and get more bang for your buck with the help of LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition across from Target in Roswell and at lgsguns.com.
Your destination for health is closer than you think. You don't have to drive hours for personalized care. You can get high-quality health care right here, close to home, at Artesia General Hospital. From hip, knee, and shoulder replacements to sports injuries, general surgery, pain management, and wound care, our providers will help you get back to doing the things you love right here in Southeast New Mexico. Artesia General Hospital is here for you when you need us. To learn more about some of our key service lines, visit artesiageneral.com/closer.
This country can sure be windy in the springtime, and we all know the best thing about wind is when it stops. Well, your friends at Roswell Ford can't do anything about the wind, but we can sure help you find the right car or truck. Roswell Ford has the biggest selection of nice pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Each one carefully inspected and backed with a 3-day money-back guarantee. We also have brand new Fords arriving almost every day, so you'll want to check with us frequently to be sure you don't miss something. And when your vehicle needs service, remember that Roswell Ford offers free pickup and delivery, so you don't have to get out in the wind. Or the Roswell Ford mobile service van can come to you and take care of most routine maintenance at your house or where you work. So whether you're shopping for a new vehicle or taking care of the one you have, you can't do better than Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main. Come see us, but remember to hang on to your hat and don't let that car door get away from you.
As proud sponsors of the 2023 Golden Gloves event, let Candlewood Suites of Roswell knock you out with spacious rooms, quiet location, and great pricing. Recover in comfort at our Candlewood Suites, 4 Military Heights Drive, Roswell, 575-623-4300, 575-623-4300.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, talking little Golden Gloves boxing with us this morning, we have Ray Baca with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Well, we got an exciting weekend coming up here in Roswell. New Mexico, the Roswell High Gym.
That's correct.
This weekend we'll be hosting the New Mexico Golden Gloves 75th Championship. So 75th anniversary of the state championships for Golden Gloves boxing here in New Mexico, and it's happening this weekend right here in Roswell at the Roswell High Gym. And it's going to be really 3 exciting days of youth and adult boxing, right?
That's correct.
This isn't just high school kids. This is youth and all amateurs, I imagine, with aspirations of hopefully,
That's very
becoming
true.
pro someday,
Yeah, we're real excited. Actually, it started here in Roswell years and years ago.
Okay.
In 48.
So kind of bringing it back home for 75th.
It's coming home for the 75th.
Cool.
We're real excited about that. As a matter of fact, I had talked with the other board members about it coming back last year, and they said, no, we're going to do it in Berlin one more year.
Okay.
But the 75th, you guys get it back.
All right, we'll make the big one the nice
Exactly.
75th, a good number, and so here it is this weekend coming up. So talk a little bit about for folks that aren't familiar with how Golden Gloves and how how kind of give a little bit of background on Golden Gloves and how it's it's like kind of like if anybody could compare it to like how baseball has minor leagues and things,
right?
Golden Gloves is kind of boxing's minor leagues, right?
That's pretty.
Is that a fair comparison? I guess.
Well, yeah, because this is amateur. This is amateur boxing.
Sure.
Back in the 60s and 70s, there used to be like there was 8 regions here throughout the state, including Roswell, Clovis, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Carlsbad, Farmington. Can't remember the other. There was 8 regions, and each region would have their Golden Glove tournament.
Okay.
And then the state tournament would be held in Roswell.
Gotcha.
This would be
so each section's champions would again square off for the state champion.
That's correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
And but what's happened now, because there's so many other sports and so much going on. You have your MMA, you have UFC fighting.
Sure.
And so we don't have the numbers that we once had. We don't have those great numbers.
So you're losing fighters to the other MMA and other styles of martial arts and things.
And yes, that's one of them. The other thing, we find that some of them are going pro earlier.
Okay.
Even when we fought, we were at 20, 21 years old and still fighting amateur. We're now when they're turning 20, 21, they're turning professional.
Trying to get the paydays.
Exactly.
Got to feed your kids, man.
That's very true. Very, very true. But it's a very fun time.
Sure.
Yeah. Now the state tournament, everybody goes to the state tournament.
This is the big, this is
it.
To borrow a term, which I'm technically not allowed to do, but this is the Super Bowl of fighting for here in New Mexico.
Amateur boxing here in New Mexico. Yeah.
Good deal.
One of the things I did want to share with you, and I don't know, I haven't talked to you about this, but we have now what is called, our franchise is Colorado, New Mexico.
Okay.
That's our franchise. So the fighters from here, the ones that win state here, will go next week and they'll fight against the state champions from Colorado.
Okay. So it'll be like a regional.
Exactly. It's a regional. And that team goes to the nationals.
So if they do well at regionals, then they go on for their national Golden Gloves championships.
That's correct. And this year, the national tournament is going to be held in Chester, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's right out of Philadelphia. And to add to that was last year, the Colorado and New Mexico team were national champions.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That is so
I was
cool.
very glad to be there to see New Mexico, Colorado win national. And
That's
before
great to see.
Yeah, Texas had won it like 3 years in a row.
Well, they have a bigger pool of people.
There's a lot of truth to that statement. There's a lot of truth to that statement. But yeah, and then like I said, they were national champions last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. And so what's because we have youth and we have adults. So what's the youngest that we'll see boxing this weekend?
So you'll probably see some 9-10-year-old kids.
Okay.
Young men and young ladies.
Okay.
So it's evolved, and we do have the state tournament is inclusive of both male and female.
Cool.
So you'll see some of the young ones, and then once they get into the open class, and then you're going to start seeing your 18 years old on.
Sure. People that are having dreams, aspirations to fight,
Yes.
whether it's to make the next level or just to see what they got.
Exactly.
That's where you're going to see the open class folks there.
And now, as I was saying earlier, we had a young lady out of Las Cruces. She was our first female national champion last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we have
we got some talent that's going to be on display. So
Yes, we do.
You might be seeing people on this stage this weekend that might be on a national stage. Could be, whether it's Golden Gloves or the Olympics or a professional bout here. These are you could come back and be like, dude, I remember seeing that fighter at the Golden Gloves in Roswell this week. They were in the youth division or they were in the open class. Or now they're here.
And in 2018, we had a kid, Abraham Pettis, out of Albuquerque, won the nationals, and then was on his way to the Olympic team. As a matter of fact, the guy that he beat a guy twice, but somebody else beat him. So that other guy went in his place to the Olympic, was an Olympian out of was a 126. But anyway, like you said, we have some talent in New Mexico.
Yeah, so
we
come
have
on.
some talent right here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah. So we're going to see the state's finest this weekend
That is
here
correct.
at Roswell High. Now, so first bell will be 7 p.m. on the 24th.
That's correct.
And then it'll be a night of fighting there. And then the next night, the 25th, will be another night of fighting. And then the 26th is championship day and all the championship bouts.
That's correct.
And so you're going to want to try to go to all 3 days. But if you only got one day, the 26th sounds like the day you definitely don't want to miss.
Really, that's very true. That's the best of the best.
Okay.
So, but again, it's fight time 7 o'clock on Friday. On Saturday, fight time is at 4 o'clock.
Okay, so you get there a little earlier. We got so there'll be probably a few more cards on that evening's
Yes.
festivities.
And then on Sunday, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now these fights do for obviously I imagine the youth. They probably go 3 rounds or something like that.
And they're all 3 rounds. It's just depending on their age and their weight.
Sure.
The littler ones you see a minute a round.
Gotcha.
But they all go 3 rounds. They're in the intermediates. They're 2-minute rounds, and then you go to the 3-minute rounds.
Okay. Now, when they get to the open class and the adults, is it the same rules or is it a little bit different?
The
for them?
rules pretty much apply. Yes.
Okay, so they'll still fight 3 rounds as well.
Yeah,
too.
everybody goes 3.
You only see the 12-round bouts like Rocky and WBA, IB, those welterweight battles and championship
those are
heavyweight
big
battles.
boys, yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool. And what I like about this too is especially when you get the young ones, when you get those 8-9-year-olds. I love because that they're learning fundamentals at that point. It's not about knocking people out, or it's about learning to protect yourself, learning the proper way to punch, the proper way to defend yourself, the proper way to be in the ring, the proper way to train, the proper way to. They're learning all that. So I imagine you get a few of these kids that start at 8 and they find the bug and love it and keep doing it. They probably turn out the best boxers because they're getting the right foundation for it. You know what I mean? Like you get some kids that you get into fighting and that they excel at it, but they may not got the fundamentals that
point,
some of these young kids get, and you're at a real disadvantage when you don't have the fundamentals of boxing, because boxing is a lot more than what you see a Rocky movie on TV. It's a whole lot more than that, and it's about skill and strength and
preparation
aren't always the things that help you. It's tactics and leverage and the skill set. That's what makes you a great boxer. No, all of us can be Mike Tyson and punch somebody out one punch, but if you can go 12 rounds and do all that and keep your legs and everything, that's the real athleticism of the sport of boxing.
That's very true. You hit the hammer right on the head there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the like you said, they're starting at a younger age, and they're better prepared. That way, when they do get to that point,
sure,
they can excel and do something special with it if they truly that's what they want to do.
Absolutely.
And we, like I said, we have a lot of talent here, and you see them. And I've seen through the years is we did this with the Boys and Girls Club years ago. You know, we had a really great program. And you see the kids develop, and you see them develop, and he goes, and just like you said earlier, it's just, I remember when that kid was just,
Sure. And now how many of these kids go on to do better things with other aspects of their life? Maybe they were lacking confidence or lacking some discipline or lacking some of those skills. Now that they've learned some of that through boxing, they can incorporate that into their school, or, you know, if they go on to, maybe they you know, all of us grow up to be boxers, some go on to be doctors, lawyers, and other things, but those skills they learned in the ring are going to translate to help them as whatever path they choose, you know?
And you know, that is so true. I can see some of the guys that we grew up with as they were, you know, because although it's an individual sport, it's still a team sport.
Absolutely.
Because those guys that you spar with every day, those guys that you work out with every day, those guys that you travel with, you know, it's those same guys, and you see each other develop, and you learn that team concept.
Absolutely.
And what it's going to make you better? How do you prepare? You know, the same thing in school. This is teaching you basically a lot of those same things, and then as far as athletically, you know, to be a boxer, you got to have quick hands. And, you know, to be a baseball player, you know, you got to be able to move your feet. You got to be able to.
Sure.
It adds to so much of your daily life, whether it be another sport or just life itself.
Yeah. Just to give, I'm kind of curious, just you as myself, like for some of these, for a box, well, let's go with some of the youth boxing. What's typically like a training regime for a boxer? Say like a teenager. What's typically what a teenager's doing to get ready for a fight? What kind of things are they doing?
A lot of road work.
Okay.
Got to get a lot of road work in. You also, you know, you do your calisthenics, you know, get your body good and stretched, get warmed up, and get ready to go. Jump rope, shadow boxing, hitting the heavy bag, and then usually some sparring with some of your teammates.
Gotcha. Is it because you got to really balance the agility, and you know you got to be light and quick on your feet, but got to have a hammer to punch with that. And some people can have the hammer but aren't light on their feet, or they're light on their feet but they're throwing, you know, little gnat bugs at you. You know, so it's really tricky to be able to balance power with controlling
speed.
it and
Yeah,
speed and everything
correct.
else. Yeah, that's the real art of the sport.
And some of that, like you said, is when you hit that heavy bag and the coach is holding, and you know, you can hear the pop.
Yeah.
You can hear the pop in that bag. And there is some weightlifting. You know, there's
Sure, you got to have strength in there.
You got to strengthen that. But at the same time, you don't want to get too bulky, because you won't be able to punch. Yeah, you got to be able to move, and quick hands. Got to have those quick hands.
Yeah. You ever notice usually some of the best baseball pitchers don't look like athletes. They kind of look kind of pot-bellied and not very defined. It's because pitchers, yes, they need strength, but they got to be loose. They got to be, you know, if they're tight in muscle, they can't get the proper rotation. So, you know, that you know, when we talk about an athlete, and so if you've muscled up, sure, you're probably in good shape, but there's certain things that don't work well. Boxing's one of those.
You know what? Actually, when we were coming up and stuff, we didn't see us lifting very much weights. Now, you want more strength.
Sure.
But you know,
you got to be flexible.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you still got to be quick.
Yeah.
And give them a little pop just to keep their respect.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you look at like the boxing greats Muhammad Ali. You look at Muhammad, he wasn't small dude, but he wasn't like buff. You know why he was great? It was the rope-a-dope. You know how much agility and skill it takes to do what he did in a ring like that forget 3 rounds for 12 rounds, you know? and that's what but if he was looking like Hulk Hogan in that ring, 80s Hulk Hogan, not now. Right. He probably wouldn't have been able to pull that move off. I'm just, you know, that's what, you know, so that's kind of what you're talking a little bit about.
You have to attribute it to that quickness, quick on your feet, quick hands, you know, being able to move front and back, side to side, to slip those punches.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of a lot of preparation that people don't. You just don't go in and just start slugging.
Sure.
You learn how to fight. You got to learn how to box.
Let me ask you this, too, because hopefully we want to get everyone to come out. Like I said, 7 o'clock Friday, the 24th, 4 p.m. on Saturday the 25th, and then 1 o'clock for the championship Sunday on the 26th. Tickets, can they get them at the door?
Just get them at the door. That's correct.
Youth, or if you're children, 5 to 17, just $5. Adults, $10. Veterans and seniors, $7. And here's the thing: I want you go and check it out. But I would love to see if there's some youth or some folks that are interested, and maybe they want to get involved with boxing. This is a good weekend to talk to some of these fighters, talk to the trainers, talk to Ray and some of the other event planners here. And who knows, maybe this is your springboard into doing some boxing yourself.
As a matter of fact, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he had talked about some of his kids. He says, Ray, this is just bring them on down. If we need to introduce them to somebody, if they're truly interested,
sure,
we'll guide them in the right direction.
So come out, watch the fights, and then if you have an interest in come out, talk to these boxers and trainers, and they, I'm sure many of them, maybe not when they're getting ready for the fight, but afterwards or when they're not.
Prior to, that's correct. Sure.
When they're not in the middle of something, talk to them. They'll be happy to share their love of the sport with you and get more. Because I imagine every boxer out there, they want the sport to grow. They want more people involved. So if there's people with an interest, they'd love to have you as part of this too. And who knows, maybe this weekend you're stepping stone to something with boxing, future in boxing. So.
Very, very special. I tell you what, you see these kids, and I've been watching these kids, and you say we see them evolve. We see them evolve, and we're, like you said, we're trying. Brought this back to Roswell because I really believe this is where it belongs. This is where it started, and we want to get those young men and young ladies out there. If you're interested, come on down.
Well, I imagine that's the cool part for you at this point, why you do it, why you're here and doing all this, because it's those moments when that new person gets in or they get what's going on and now they see the benefits and see, when that kid has that first success, they get their first, they execute their first, moves correctly, or they're able to complete a boxing match, or whatever it is.
Sure.
Those are the moments you get that you probably enjoy and get to really take out of this kind of thing.
That's so very true.
Not working. I'm connected. How about now? Did my mic? You keep going. But
anyway,
okay.
One of the things that we're able to do is a lot of the old fighters, the guys that we kind of came up together.
Sure.
They're out there helping, because this is something that it's very special to them as well. And
absolutely.
We're just excited about the whole thing. The people in this community have been very supportive, and we truly do appreciate the support of the community.
That's great.
The volunteers. So it's something.
Going to make it a good weekend.
Likewise, really. That's what we're looking to.
So come check it out. Even if you don't know anything about boxing, you want to come see it. Come see it for yourself. Come out and enjoy these live fights. Like you said, you're going to be seeing everything from your youth, your 8-9-year-olds, up to adults. And you might even see a few people your age out there trying to get her done out there. But that's the great part about it, is we get to see these. You get to see the hard work and dedication. The training and win or lose. I mean, they all want to win. That's the whole point. But win or lose, you can appreciate the whole efforts and athleticism and what these athletes do to get ready for these fights. It's really it's something to see.
It really is. I had a young man years ago that he had lost his first 3 out of 4 fights, and then something all of a sudden just clicked, and he became a really good fighter. But his struggles early, they were struggles for him. He had lost a couple, won, then lost again. Then all of a sudden it was like something turned on, and he just became this really outstanding young man. So
it's all about practice.
And stories like that.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of those success stories.
And that's what I love. And I imagine you look at probably out of the coaches, out of the trainers, all the staff that support each and every fighter. They probably all, were in that same, chewing. Maybe we're boxers, and they love the sport and keep continuing it. They're a little too long in the tooth to suit up and get in the ring, but they wanna help and support the next generation. And that's where you see in your trainers and those folks they all support and mentor the next generation, and that's cool to see.
That's very well stated.
Yeah,
and like you say, we're real excited about that, and we're glad it's here, and it's home. It's back home again, and it's coming with a bunch of great individuals, people making a positive impact in our youth's lives. So come out and support us.
Come enjoy it.
Us.
Again, it's this weekend. It's all going to be at the Roswell High Gym.
That's correct.
So plenty of great seats there. Every seat's going to be a good seat in that house. It's a great atmosphere to watching. Instead of seeing a basketball game, you're going to be seeing a few boxing matches this weekend. But the tournament weigh-in will be from 9 to noon Friday. Is that generally a public thing, or is that more just for the fighters?
Those just for the fighters. And
but
the
public and the fighting and all that'll start Friday night, 7 p.m. First match. First bell, then. So you want to get what time's doors open? And everything.
Doors are going to about 6 o'clock, and we're going to have mayor's going to come out and do a welcome.
All right, do the anoint officially. Welcome to the city. Got Dominus Omus, whatever the mayor does.
Pastor Troy from Church on the Move is going to have an opening invocation.
Okay.
And then we're going to have our president, who is Bunny Martinez out of Albuquerque.
Okay.
She'll be here saying a few words on behalf of New Mexico Golden
Welcome the crowds and welcome the fighters.
Yes.
Cool. And then ding, ding.
And
after
then
that.
ding, ding. There you go.
Perfect. So, again, 7 p.m. So get doors open 6. You probably want to get there so we can get a good seat and get you settled in and get all that, get you ready for fight for first round at 7.
Yeah, got the concession ready to go. So
Get your snacks and drinks and fill you up there and, get so you're ready to root on your favorite boxers here. And then we'll do it all again Saturday. Again, 4 p.m. Doors will probably open about 3, I'm guessing.
That's correct.
And so get there early, get you good spots, get ready for day 2 of fights as they progress through the tournament here, the championships. And then the championships happen on Sunday. Again, 1 o'clock is the first fight. About noon, I'm guessing, is when the doors will open. And then we'll have an afternoon of championship matchups, and we'll start from the youth all the way to the open class. And it's going to be a full weekend of boxing, and you get to see everything. You're going to see women, men, children, adults. You're going to see every human being on the planet in way, shape, or form out in a boxing ring this weekend. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we're really excited. A lot of time and effort has come in to putting this together, and we're really excited about hosting and getting the show on the road.
Yeah.
Roswell, New Mexico.
Absolutely. It's come and support the kids and support them all. I mean, but this is a community event. This is New Mexico coming together to do New Mexico things. And this is our people I'm saying this is a fun, come and be a part of it. Come see our local folks doing great things and hopefully taking their great things to a national stage. That's what they're trying to do at some point here. So come support them, cheer them on, and come, if you're new to the sport of boxing, even better. Come on out and let's learn it. Let's show you a few things, and who knows, maybe not ready to step in a ring, but maybe you're ready to watch a few more fights and get more involved in the boxing community. So,
well, we really appreciate you having us on, and like you
Anytime.
said, it is an exciting time, and I keep going back to it's coming home.
Yes,
it's coming home. It's coming home.
It's the roots. The roots are right here, and so come and see that. I imagine you get a few nostalgic trips, because I imagine there'll be a few old timers coming in to see the weekend, and they're gonna take a few trips down memory lane. And so imagine hang out with those people, because you're gonna hear good stories.
With that being said, you have people like Jerry Martinez, who's a national runner-up out of Roswell. He's supposed to be here.
Great.
We got the Burke boys out of Las Cruces. They're going to be here. Some of the old fighters that they're here before I was. They plan on.
So if you're looking for a few New Mexico legends, you might run into a time or two out there.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to be a fun weekend. It all starts this Friday. First bell, 7 p.m. All happening at the Roswell High Gym. Tickets will be available at the door. Bring the whole family out for a fun weekend of boxing. I guarantee you go Friday night, you're probably going to want to be back for Saturday, and then you're certainly going to want to come back for Sunday for the championship. So come get the bug. And Rudolph, and come talk to these. Hear the stories of these boxers, and if nothing else, that'll inspire you. Just hearing, sometimes, when you hear, especially when you hear the stories of some of these boxers that have gone through adversity to get where they're at, and then you see where they're at now, and it's an inspiration. So hopefully a few people will be inspired from the weekend too. So.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
deal.
you.
Is there anything we missed, Ray? Anything we wanted to share that we just spaced out on?
No, just really just community support. It's been great.
Good.
You guys.
Anything we can do to help? Oh, by the way,
KSVP.
I don't. If you're in town, I want you at the Roswell High Gym on Saturday and Sunday and Friday. But if you're out of town, you're not going to be in town this weekend. We will be carrying all the boxing matches. KSVPTV.com. We'll have a Golden Gloves boxing channel right there. You click on it, and you'll be able to watch the fights. But if you can be ringside this weekend, be ringside. Come in because we're going to do the best we can to bring you all the action, but it's not like being there in person to see it. It's just a different atmosphere.
There's that energy.
Yeah,
there's that energy.
And we can't bring that on the TV. We
can't.
We can try, but it doesn't translate.
You feel it as people come into the building, and there's just that. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you can't make it to the Roswell High Gym this weekend, don't worry. We'll have it for you. KSVPTV.com. But if you can come out, support the boxers. Get you a seat and put your butt in it for the whole weekend and come out and be a part of it. So, good deal.
Thank you,
yes, sir. Anytime, and I'm sure you got about 20 different phone calls and things to answer, so we'll let you get that moving. He does have a whole event to get ready for this weekend, so and by the way, Roswell High has a day of gym and work, and they got to do all that, and then when that's all done, they say, "Go ahead, boxers, you can go ahead." And so it's going to be a lot of work happening in a short amount of time here over the next couple of days. So
that's very, very true, and like you said, come on out.
Absolutely, support it. Come out,
support.
and we'll remind you throughout the week here, so in case you all forget. So, thank you, Ray, as always, and we'll see you this weekend. Okay,
for sure. Looking forward to it.
All right, take care.
And you do the same. Thank you.
It is 9:47, 7:47. It's a little early for that. No, 9:47. We're going to pause for news, your Hannity update, quick commercial break. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. There's going to be a stampede at the Spring River Zoo, but it's not the animals that'll be stampeding. The zoo will host a kids' stampede on Saturday, April 8th, offering kids aged 12 and younger the chance at a fun half-mile run through the zoo with some special segments along the way at many of the animal exhibits. The entry fee is just $10.50 per child, and kids will run in age groups. Registration can be done online at roswellconnect.com or at the zoo on the day of the event. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering a reward for information leading to the capture of a federal fugitive. 34-year-old Samantha Danae Scholl is wanted for murder, armed robbery, and tampering with evidence. Scholl, from Roswell, is accused of participating in the killing of Mario Delgado Jr. in February of 2021. Scholl and a man named Jeffrey Contreras fled Roswell because they were wanted for another murder case. They're accused of killing Delgado in Albuquerque during an armed robbery. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
We're supposed to be gladiators. We're supposed to be warriors. We're supposed to be the best, the baddest, the kick-ass, strongest people on earth. That's what the military is. That's what you get with a good military. With a woke military, you're not going to get that. Why is the military involved with anything? Why are billions of dollars being spent on wokeness, billions spent on climate-related, programs for the military? No. I want the biggest, baddest, best weapons that are humanly possible to make. And we're never going to use them offensively unless we're attacked.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Figure is different from all other refinancing that I've experienced. Hi, I'm Chaz Ryan, and I use Figure for a home equity line of credit. I found Figure, and it was a very easy application to make. My loan was funded within 7 to 10 days.
Join Chaz and the 50,000 other happy customers. Figure out your finances at Figure.com. Figure Lending, LLC. Equal Opportunity Lender. NMLS 1717824. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Figure.com for more information.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Low pressure headed to our north, and that'll bring us some cloud cover off and on through the day and gusty wind, but no rain expected. Could get a few gusts around 40 miles an hour through the day, and our afternoon high will be in the mid-70s. For the overnight hours, some clouds lingering around and our low in the upper 40s and windy. Then pretty gusty again on Wednesday. We'll have sunshine hitting about the 80-degree mark on the afternoon high, wind gusting to 45. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. Some critics say Americans' retirement savings could be in peril, all due to woke politics. President Biden issuing the first veto of his administration.
With the stroke of his pen, the president rejected a Republican measure that bans environmental or social considerations in investments by the government when making decisions for Americans' retirement plans. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said the veto makes clear that Mr. Biden wants to use taxpayers' retirement savings to fund his far-left political causes. The president's veto is likely to prevail. Just 3 Democrats in Congress supported the GOP bill. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Stocks have been rising on Wall Street, including the banks most beaten down by the industry's crisis. The S&P 500 saw a 1% gain in early trading after prepared remarks by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who said the government could offer the banking industry more assistance. With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, prowl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today. 575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:54. Got a few minutes here before we wrap up today's show. Of course, if you missed any part of our interviews today, I invite you to check them out at your leisure. Log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our interviews there. For today, we in the 7 o'clock hour, we replayed an interview, which is already up on our website by itself. We had the district attorney for the 5th Judicial District, your district here in Chavez County. We had Diana Luce, the DA. We also had Justin Dominguez, her chief investigator, and also Dennis Kentai as well. And we had a great conversation talking about the DA's office and what the DA does and things like that. So if you missed that interview, you can find it there now. In the 8 o'clock hour, we had Donna Aracion with ENMUR join us, give us an update on a plethora of events coming up, including the golf tournament on April 8th. They got Senior Preview Day. They've got Scrubs Camp. They got quite a few events coming up over the next several months at ENMUR. Then we had the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office join us around 8:45. Tamara Schubert and Drew Garnett talked about the event next week, the big ranching and farming symposium they've got next week in Artesia. We talked about open enrollment for 4-H. Is wrapping up right now, but still got time to sign your youth up for that. And then, of course, we just had Ray Baca join us a few minutes ago talking about the Golden Gloves boxing event happening this weekend at Roswell High. That's going to be 3 days of boxing. That sounds like a lot of fun. I've never actually been to a live boxing event. Never been to one. I've been to a lot of sporting events, but boxing live I've never been to. That's maybe I should check one out. I've never been out to a boxing. I've seen them on TV, but I've never, been at a boxing or I've been to football, I've been to basketball, been to hockey, been to baseball, been to wrestling. No, not professional wrestling, amateur wrestling. Like high school. I've been to that. Never been to like WWE stuff, but shoot, I've even been to rodeos and tractor pulls. Never been to a live boxing match though. I've been to a lot of other weird events, but I've never been to a boxing match. So yeah. So go check it out this weekend. Come on out to Roswell High. See 3 days of fun boxing and all that good stuff. The most recent one? I haven't seen that one yet. That's see, I'm trying to I'm pretty well versed on the Rocky movies, but there was so much time between the Creed movies that I kind of forget what happened in Creed 2. I've seen Creed 2, but I don't remember what happened. So I think I got to go back and watch Creed 2
I didn't watch the first two.
You didn't need him? And you were fine with following the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a kind of a self-contained story.
Is it? Okay. But imagine it probably helped to have because some of the characters. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch the first two now.
Because I imagine there's characters you're probably like, who are these people? And then you realize, well, if I watch the other two, I know.
Yeah.
Like his girlfriend and.
Yeah, kind of. Like he's already established to.
At this point.
Have a daughter in the movie.
But I'm trying to think what happened at the end of 2 where because he's fighting like an old rival in this one, right?
Well, don't spoil. Yeah.
Or old friend or something. I don't know.
It's like a character from his past that was barely introduced.
Barely introduced?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why I don't remember this guy because I'm thinking.
But I like him because he's Kang in the new Ant-Man movie.
Okay. Well, and this is where I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the first 2 Creed movies. I'm like,
well, I know in
what's going on there?
The second one's kind of fan servicey because he fights Drago's son.
Yes, that's right. He fights Drago. That's right. In the second one. So this is creeping up from the first one where he's kind of getting with Rocky and Rocky's kind of, mentoring him. Yeah. And then you get to meet Apollo Creed's wife and she's back in it. Actually, it's a different one. Apollo Creed's wife in the Rocky movies is a different actress because it was what's her name? Mrs. Huxtable was. What's her name? It's Rashad, Ahmad Rashad's wife, Felicia Rashad. That's her name.
Oh, okay.
That's her name. Yeah, she's the mother in the Creed movies.
That's funny.
But it was a different actress in the. Yeah, Apollo's wife in the Rocky movies was a different actress. But it's Mrs. Huxtable in the other one. So, but that's all I remember. I don't. So I guess maybe I should watch Rocky Creed 1, and then I'll remember. It'll reference.
Well, this is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut.
Oh, did he direct this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going like Stallone, man.
Yeah.
Stallone was directing those too, I think, towards the end. Some of those, and so maybe he's like a Stallone in the wings. So.
And I think for a debut, I think he knocked it out of the park.
Okay. Well, I want to check it out. I just haven't yet.
It's a really hype movie.
Yeah, I've seen them all. I liked them. I'm going to check it out. I just haven't.
It's funny on Twitter. There was news about it having a bit of an anime influence.
Oh, really?
A little bit, and I thought there was going to be a little bit more of that, but they kind of toned it down.
Good.
To make it, keep it realistic for all the, because that's not the target audience. That's the they want to watch boxing. So
we got to go. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. New York City bracing for protest and the possibility of violence if former President Trump is indicted. White House correspondent Greg Clixton with that report.
New York officials have been monitoring online chatter of threats and getting metal barricades ready, even though there were no immediate signs that Trump supporters were going to protest. A grand jury here in Manhattan has been hearing evidence in secret for weeks about hush money payments made on Trump's behalf during his 2016 presidential campaign. The former president has blasted the investigation as politically motivated. Greg Clugston, New York.
Also at townhall.com, correspondent Lisa Dwyer says Los Angeles schools will close as district workers plan to strike starting today.
They will be joined by teachers for a planned 3-day strike that will shut down the nation.